Ignition sequence start.
The world's most magnificent sailing machine.
5,
The premier sailing trophy of the world.
4,
The spirit of hard-fought but friendly rivalry.
3,
The world's greatest yachting classic is on.
2,
We are about to take off for the America's Cup.
1.
And now, the cup match.
We have liftoff.
You're well on your way now.
Welcome to Barcelona. We are go for launch on the 37th edition of the America's Cup. This is a historic moment. The last time we had a British challenger was 5 years before man walked on the moon.
The English challenger Sovereign in the 19th International Challenge match for the America's Cup.
The defenders have the chance of becoming the first team to win the Cup for the 3rd time. Just making it to this moment is an achievement in itself. Of the 6 teams who arrived in Barcelona, 4 have already gone home.
Orient Express Racing depart Barcelona. Switzerland's America's Cup dream is over. The magic has gone today. It's Italy versus Great Britain and the Louis Vuitton Cup final. Ineos Britannia rolls the waves to the Mediterranean. They win the Louis Vuitton Cup.
The last time we were in the America's Cup match was 1964. The fact that Britain's never won the America's Cup, that's what drives us and motivates us. It's really a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. But in my experience, when you get those in life, don't be scared, step up, take it on and give it everything you got.
Their opponents have had less time on the Barcelona racetrack, but they've been watching closely from the sidelines.
The defender gets to race against the best of the rest. We've been preparing for a fight right from the beginning. We're expecting a super tight competition. I'm sure it's going to be one hell of a battle out there.
Will the Cup return to its spiritual home in Great Britain? Or will New Zealand's grip on this ancient trophy grow tighter still? Whatever happens, one thing's for sure. At speeds of over 100 kilometers an hour, this will be a race like we've never seen before. This is the America's Cup.
We have a go for liftoff.
This is Barcelona. Sailing's ultimate showdown begins today. Welcome to the match for the Louis Vuitton 37th America's Cup. History beckons for both defender and challenger. After 173 years, can a British team finally lift the old mug through the exploits of Britannia? Or will Emirates Team New Zealand, one of the most successful teams in modern history, win 3 Cup regattas in a row? The quest for answers begins now. Waiting for the victor, the spoils, the America's Cup, designated as a prize for friendly competition between foreign nations. To win this opens the door to sailing immortality. The pathway to greatness is clear, and it's been a long journey for Ineos Britannia to get to this point, but they have seen off all 4 challenges brilliantly. 13 races are scheduled. The first to 7 will hold the old mug aloft and have their names etched in silver. New Zealand's managed that 4 times. The British yet to experience that feeling. This day is unprecedented. A British boat in the match for the first time in 60 years. Britannia start on starboard for race 1, port in race 2. In an America's Cup first, we'll also crown the first winner of the Pooch Women's America's Cup. Will it be Great Britain or Italy? Saturday, October 12 in Barcelona is also a national holiday, Fiesta Nacional de España. It's going to be one to remember. The celebrations for the Cup match began 2 days on Bogatel Beach in front of 60,000 people. The theme was Barcelona is the lighthouse to the world, a centre of innovation, culture and unity. And it certainly did the job. It was a light and sound spectacular. What is also spectacular is the opening day of the match. And for Team New Zealand, it was very, very New Zealand. Ngāti Whātua Ōrākei gave them a karanga, a blessing and a haka on their way down to Taihoro, their boat. It was a very special moment for all people, home and abroad. And then a very special moment for everybody standing on the dock. The first waka created by Ngāti Whātua in 25 years, the Kauau, named after a great cormorant. What a feeling, Shirley, today for the Defender.
Yeah, they've waited a while to find out who they're racing. They've watched all the other teams race, and it is all come to today. This is a team that knows how to deliver excellence, a team that knows how to win, and they're heading out to do battle.
Yeah, they're absolutely ready to roll, as are Ineos Britannia. They have made it through to the 37th America's Cup match. DJ Rob DeBank even flying in from the UK, probably sitting next to Jim Ratcliffe's possibly on the way down, but they will be absolutely looking forward to getting into it. The families, the support staff, all the teams absolutely ready to roll here in Barcelona.
Quite an opposing send-off. Those sailors look ready to go on Ineos Britannia.
Yeah, they look game face on, ready to go, don't they? They've waited for this a long time. Sir Ben Ainsley looking to do the business.
So we are in the throes of the opening race in the match for the Louis Vuitton 37th America's Cup match. Who's your money on? That's the question going around here, the port, and also around the world. It's going to be tight, but what did the weather gods say today? Let's update the course conditions.
Excitement and tension is high here in Barcelona, and the racetrack just in front of this iconic cityscape nearly always brings its own drama. It is never straightforward. For this much anticipated opener, we've a volatile, cloudy and potentially rainy day. The breeze is in from the southwest, but it's currently too light to start racing. We're in a short delay, but we are expecting shifting instability and, fingers crossed, a build in wind pressure. The teams need to stay adaptable. Having a good read on what's going on is vital. And to help us watching get familiar with the America's Cup course, we luckily have the magic of Capgemini's Windsight IQ. It is a laser tracking system that tracks the microscopic movements in the air, plotting the real-time breeze in a wind map. And as you're about to see, it can be very useful. Green means more breeze and blue a little less. We're not far away from racing conditions, and I think perhaps a little patience could be an important trait this afternoon.
Let's go racing. Race one of the match.
The New Zealanders are entering the America's Cup ring hungry for their third consecutive victory. We're expecting to be impressed. They are meticulous cup campaigners and so very often deliver pace and poise when the pressure is on. They're a strong, tight unit. They've all been there before. They're a formidable opponent. On the wheels, it's Pete Burling. On port, sailing in his first cup match, Olympic gold medalist Nathan Outridge. The reliable Tuka Maloney sit in the trimmer's seats, and those mighty cyclers pushing out the watts are Webster, Allen, and clipped in on starboard, Crosby, and Olympic rowing legend Hamish Bond.
The British team of Ineos Britannia have beaten all other challenging teams to win their way into the match for the 37th America's Cup. The official challenger of record are worthy opponents and are battle-hardened. Driving the yacht is Ben Ainsley and Dylan Fletcher, and controlling the flight is Bledden Mon and Lee McMillan. With plenty of push on the pedals, the Cyclor team for today's first race includes Rossiter, Carr, Gottrell and Cornish.
So there we have the cockpits of both boats, and the helms are not in there right now. We have been advised by race management that the racing at the moment is postponed because of weather. Now that's nothing too unfamiliar here on the waters of Barcelona over the last few days, which means we just have to sit nervously around the world, wherever you're watching, whatever size screen, and just think of what might be about to unfold. Stephen McIver joined by double Olympic gold medalist Shirley Robertson, a winner of the match 3 times, Glenn Ashby, and former America's Cup tactician Peter Lester on the water. There's a buzz, there is a buzz, and we just want to go racing.
Yeah, and almost the weather is adding to that. I mean, we have had fantastic conditions here in Barcelona. The Defender already in their pre-race practice in their routines. We're not far from the wind limit. We need 6.5 knots at both the top and the bottom of the course. And we're seeing between 5 and 6. So, fingers crossed it all comes together.
Yeah, Emirates Team New Zealand getting a tow up there from the chase boat, so only around about sort of 5 to 5.5 knots of true wind speed at the moment. So you can get a tow up, once you get foiling, you can stay up on the foils and sort of sail around in even 5 to 5.5 knots, but executing the manoeuvres in this really light air, pretty tricky. So needing about 6.5 knots to comfortably sail around the racetrack. It's not a lot of breeze, but need a bit more to kick in.
There's a lot going on in the weather today, isn't it? There's rain, there's massive clouds. We just saw port helmsman Nathan Outridge, standing up out the cockpit, having a really good look around. It's certainly not making life easy for these teams.
Alrighty, let's get some on-water thoughts about this, and we'll head towards Ineos Britannia first of all. Coach Rob Wilson on the chase boat for Ineos Britannia. First and foremost, mate, welcome to the match. What are your feelings, and what's the feeling of the crew heading into this day?
They're all fired up, ready for it, and then standing by now, waiting for wind.
I sense a lot of nervousness just from yourself there, Rob.
No, I've got a really bad echo, actually. I'm not sure.
You sound fine from where I am, mate. It's all good. Keep going.
Yeah, we're just waiting for the wind to come in. So we want to get into it. We want to get racing. But, we just got to wait for it to fill in.
Rob, Shirley here. I mean, what do you do within the team now in this waiting period? What's the process?
It's just really to get everything ready, get all settled. And then as soon as the breeze is in, go for it. So we're kind of on edge now. We just got a few little things we're sorting out on the boat, and then we'll be doing some practice laps.
All right, well, we're all waiting in anticipation. Good luck if we go racing today.
Thanks very much. Appreciate it.
Let's now head on to the chase boat for Emirates Team New Zealand. Coach Ray Davies is standing by. Hi, Ray. Would have been nice to get going straight away. What's the mood? What's the feeling right now?
Yeah, no, we are very optimistic we'll get sailing in here. There's a bit more breeze up above the course, working its way down from the south. Just waiting for it to gradually move in. We can start to see some yachts above the course sailing. So, yeah, pretty sure it's going to happen, but just got to wait for this gradient breeze to fill back in.
Oh, Ray, obviously you guys are ready to get into it, but the guy standing next to you, Grant Dalton, he's probably the most looking forward to getting into it, I'd imagine.
Yeah, no, Dalton's definitely looking forward to getting some races away today, and looks like, if we do get racing, it should be a pretty nice breeze and a pretty true breeze as well. It's quite offshore at the moment, but we'll see how that plays out. But no, we can't wait to get into it.
Ray, there's a lot of talk about confidence coming from the opposition camp. Where does the word confidence sit with Emirates Team New Zealand right now?
Oh, we're full of it. But, it's a challenging sport we're in, and, you got to be ready for anything, and especially in the lighter breeze. But no, we're thrilled with our team and the effort everyone's put in over the last 3 years. So it's exciting to finally showcase what we've been up to.
All right, the best of luck.
Thanks, guys.
So similar feelings on both chase boats. They want to go racing. There is confidence, and that was good to hear from Ray saying, hey, we think we're going to go racing today, and that makes everybody happy.
Yeah, that was good to hear. They're obviously in touch with their team meteorologist all the time, have a better handle perhaps on the weather than we do. So great to hear that level of confidence, and we can see them going through their pre-race routine. I mean, literally in a few moments we could be off.
Can we talk about Ben Ainslie? Because there is a lot of talk, and it's all positive talk, that people have not seen Ben Ainslie this dialed in for such a long time. There's a real, let's just say, the dog is ready to fight.
Well, I think he's really relishing the challenge, and he knows he's got a fast boat. He knows his team are racing well, and opportunities in life don't come along that often like this, and he is absolutely going to grab it with two hands, and fight till the end.
Yeah, Ben absolutely has a lot of mongrel in him, and that's what you need. That you need to have mongrel in you and the fire in the belly to ultimately come through and win the America's Cup. So he's leading a big band of brothers that all fight and all absolutely want to win this event. So we are absolutely looking forward to this first race. Unfortunately, a little bit light just at the moment, but hopefully that breeze kicks in soon and we'll get to see these magnificent AC75s punch off that start line.
There is just a cannot wait for this battle to unfold. On the water, former America's Cup tactician Peter Lester. Peter, we heard Ray Davies say that they think we can go sailing a little bit later. He's confident.
I think it'll be fine. We're just a bit of a delay. Looking up the course, it's clearing down in the south. Over the city of Barcelona, there is a bit of a black cloud over there, but I don't think it looks too menacing. I think this afternoon southerly out of about 210, 230 will build. It is going to be light and a bit funky all day. But look, there's been already a bit of byplay going on out here. Emirates Team New Zealand are up and sailing round, or they were. And they did a flyby behind Ineos, and the whole Ineos afterguard were taking a lot of notice as the New Zealanders as they came behind and did a jibe and then just sailed off into the distance. So it's game on.
They buzzed the tower. Nice one. You are looking at Emirates Team New Zealand, one of the most storied teams in America's Cup history. They've won the Cup twice, defended it twice. And the lessons, they have been hard-earned and hard-learned. They are an America's Cup powerhouse, but under no illusion that a match-hardened, match-fit challenger lies in wait.
So well matched, aren't they, in terms of performance? I mean, you could not pick one.
People thought I was joking a little bit in those first press conferences when I was saying that I think it's the highest level we've seen in the America's Cup across the challenges for a very long time.
They really have made a statement.
You know, each of the teams winning races, taking big scalps, and then just an incredibly close, probably top three between American Magic, Lunaros Rally, and Ineos Britannia.
Britannia is on fire.
They're going to be a little bit more battle hardened out of those series.
Nice work, guys. Solid.
I think the work we've been doing in the background between since we left at the end of the round robin has been pretty valuable as well.
We arrived here in Barcelona pretty late. We went into the preliminary event and the round robins not in the position that we were planning to be in for the match.
Big speed advantage there, American Magic.
So we were still trying stuff in those earlier rounds.
The chase is not over for the defender.
Now we've locked in on where we're at and we feel pretty comfortable that we've improved considerably, but like everyone else has. We haven't had the match race practice that those guys have had.
Push this boundary a little bit to get to the table. Let's go. Go.
We've had more time to develop on speed things.
Big push, boys.
We always thought that the America's Cup was going to get back to proper match racing.
Cracking start by both boats.
Even in these high performance boats with converging speeds of 100 knots. So to actually see some really, really close racing.
Nothing in the performance of these two yachts, very, very evenly matched.
Some pre-start scenarios playing out.
Big loss of the rudder there for the Italians.
Attacking jewels, covering each other.
Let's hit them.
It's fantastic. So we're just doing countless drills.
Go 4 early for the pin, keep pushing him at the pin.
Very nice, guys. All the way up.
Repeating scenarios we're seeing on the water. Move, counter move, what can we do to get the initial upper hand off the start line? That's so critical in these boats. It's really about minimising mistakes.
For sure it's a disadvantage to not do as many races as your opposition, but prior to coming to Barcelona we had a really intense period of a couple of months where we had our two AC40s. We probably did 100 starts. We had the preliminary regatta, we had the round robin, so there was 25 races that we got in there that we wouldn't normally have.
Oh, fantastic race here, both boats.
You know, we feel a whole lot better than we did going into the match in Auckland, put it that way.
Yeah, we've put countless hours into the match racing playbook, understanding move, counter move. It was evident straight after Auckland that this was an area we had to keep developing and working on. So yeah, we've put 3 years into our match racing ability and now we're ready to showcase it.
I think the America's Cup match will be a huge clash, always is. The exciting thing here is that, you know, you've got the Brits in the match after 60 years, so it's going to be fantastic.
Hey, nice games here, guys.
We know Ben well. He's been part of our team.
Boundary in 10.
I think we've had a lot of great racing with Ben over the years. I mean, you look back at my first America's Cup in Bermuda. I think we first seen him in the semi-final. I'm sure it's going to be an awesome battle for the America's Cup.
Maybe we follow him up and then drive down.
Ben's pretty punchy in the pre-start.
Beautifully controlled by Ineos Britannia.
They're definitely looking for engagement of the other boat. They back their boat handling. You know, we've got to counter that and we have to bring our A game. They've brought their A game to the Challenger Series.
Ain't nothing lucky about that, guys.
We've got to be at least at that level and it's exciting. We're ready for it.
We're a team that's hugely passionate about the Cup and winning the Cup. And all we're thinking about right now is trying to defend. Now, whether that's 2, 3 or 4, it doesn't matter a lot of how we approach it.
To be honest, we don't think about the records or anything like that. I think the ethos of this group is to make sure we perform at the level we know we can, and we're all very confident that if we do that, we're going to have a really good shot at winning it.
Up there on 2. Gonna press down him again.
The Defender is ready to go and locked in. There are fans all over the race village ready to go. Lots of Union Jacks out there. Also lots of supporters from Emirates Team New Zealand. Emirates Team New Zealand have suggested we can go racing this afternoon. That place will go off once we cross the start line for the first time. Barcelona has been inundated, flooded with fans coming in to support this match. And why wouldn't it be? Because it's a magnificent place to host a regatta, and the fleet has just got bigger and bigger and bigger out on the water. Shirley, it's a special moment. The first race, right? The first one.
Yeah, we're pretty excited to see them come off the line. We haven't seen Emirates Team New Zealand since the 9th of September was the last time they raced. And they've been, you know, finessing the boat, working on systems, practicing their own skills. So we don't know what they're going to look like. And that is an exciting, tantalizing prospect.
It really is. I mean, getting off the start line when you're actually on board the yacht yourself and you're racing and you look out the window at your opponent, it really is that first couple of minutes of sailing. So exciting, getting a gauge on the performance relative to yourselves. Such an exciting moment.
So just an update, if you are just tuning in around the world, we are in a postponement mode at the moment, but we heard from the coach of Emirates Team New Zealand, Ray Davies, saying they expect to go sailing, but it also raises the question, doesn't it, team, about light air and whose boat is moded or designed for lighter conditions. I'd love to know the thoughts.
Yeah, look, it really is. I mean, it's as much a design race, Shirley, isn't it, as a sailing team race? And I think that's one of the beautiful things of the America's Cup.
I mean, we've marvelled at the progress Ineos Britannia made from the beginning of this America's Cup series way back in August. And they now look the whole package. You wouldn't say that they were better in one condition than the other. And we just don't know from the Kiwis. For sure, they're going to be faster than we last saw them. It's going to look a whole lot more together.
Yeah, the design teams needing to really have an all-round package, a real AP package. Both teams working hard on their light air performance, their medium air performance, but also needing to be really solid in that upper range performance. And we've certainly seen Ineos Britannia absolutely ripping around in those higher wind speed conditions. So let's see how they go in the lighter air against Emirates Team New Zealand. Can't wait.
And in the psychological game, hearing Ben Ainsley come across the line to win the Louis Vuitton Cup final says that wasn't luck, boys. That means they have been dialed in for over a week now, and much more today. Onto the water with Peter Lester. Peter, the first day of the match, the first race, it's a special day, isn't it?
Certainly is. Ineos Britannia just ripping past our bow, only about 30 metres away. Looks absolutely magnificent as it went by. And Glenn would, I'm sure, have a comment. A little bit of wrinkling coming out of the clue box there, Lenny, on the new mainsail.
Yeah, look, yeah, big mainsails on, M1s on at the moment, and when they move those clue positions forward to deepen up the main, putting the sails a little bit out of their operational window, just for digging themselves out of a hole.
Gonna call if we can change tips in that time.
Ben Ainsley stands on the precipice of greatness. His team, Ineos Britannia, are the first to qualify for the America's Cup match in 60 years. The mission, to bring the cup home. September 1964 was the last time a British boat made the America's Cup match. Now, almost 60 years to the day, Ineos Britannia rolls the waves to the Mediterranean with a 7-4 victory. They win the Louis Vuitton Cup and will meet Emirates Team New Zealand.
Got one more to go, boys. Got the big one.
It's an incredible moment for the team to win the Louis Vuitton Cup. It's just so much effort goes into these campaigns, and to reach the ultimate goal of getting to the America's Cup, we all know how tough that is in itself.
Yeah, to make it into the America's Cup match, means a huge amount to this whole team. For some of us, it's our third stab at it. It's been a huge effort, and yeah, we're super excited now to take on the Kiwis in the America's Cup.
I can't put it into words. I can't. I'm gonna have to do that. Oh, it means everything. It means everything.
Winners of the Louis Vuitton Cup, Ineos Britannia!
Since there's been proper Challengers Series, we never got that far. The last time we were in an America's Cup match was 1964.
At Newport, Rhode Island, the English challenger Squadron is ready for the 19th International Challenge match for the America's Cup. The challengers have never won a match.
We're under no illusions of that challenge. We really respect the history of the Cup. That's why we're doing it. The fact that Britain's never won the America's Cup, that's what drives us and motivates us.
These two have got history. 4 years ago, they were in the exact same position.
Yeah, Luna Rossa, Pride of Pirelli have got an amazing history in the America's Cup. They're a real class act. We seriously had our work cut out to catch them up and ultimately to beat them in that Louis Vuitton Cup final.
We are all locked up after the opening day of the Louis Vuitton Cup final.
Difficult through the final, to try and break the stalemate.
Back up.
One of us would go out win, and then the other would take the next race.
We are all locked up in the Louis Vuitton Cup final.
Obviously, they had some, unforced errors.
Massive splashdown by the Italian team.
No, we've broken everything.
We had some unforced errors that cost us some race wins.
This is the umpire's GBR boundary penalty.
A massive mistake there by the British team.
I think it was sort of full of jeopardy within this cup.
Luna Rossa pushing, trying to get over the top.
Both these teams are sailing on the edge in a rough sea state.
Lost the rudder.
Certainly wouldn't have wanted it any harder, to be honest.
Ineos Britannia are looking downwind to the finish line.
Getting to the finish here, lads. Awesome, guys. Nothing lucky about that, guys. Nice work.
I think both teams, ourselves and Luna Rossa, developed massively through that final. Each day that you're out racing at that level against such top competition. But I still believe, we're the massive underdogs in this game. The Kiwis are the defender. They've set this whole thing up, and really it's theirs to lose.
There's nothing quite like being in the pressure cooker of, live or die competition where you're either in or you're out, and kind of facing that over a few rounds where, you're right on the edge and pushing your teamwork, your communication and everything on the boat to be absolutely dialed in and taking that against Emirates Team New Zealand into the America's Cup. It's got to put us into a strong position.
Yeah, I've been fortunate to sail with Team New Zealand back for the 2007 Cup, so I understand a lot about the team, about the culture, about the leadership there. But having that understanding of an opponent also helps you in just what you're up against and how to tackle that. Really, there's an element of unknown about the lineup between ourselves and Emirates Team New Zealand. I mean, we saw them in the prelim regatta and the round robins, We know they're going to be seriously fast across a range of conditions, but I think we've got the boat. The team are really battle hardened, so we're up for the fight.
I don't think we could be more ready to take on the Kiwis in the America's Cup. We're super excited to see what they've got for us and to see if we can take them all the way and lift up the cup that we've come here for.
We all feel this is, a huge opportunity ahead of us to make history and bring the cup back to Great Britain. At this point, it's just looking forward to getting on the start line and showing what it's all about. We know what we've got to do, and we're looking forward to that challenge against the Kiwis, and hopefully we can make some more history.
This is a massive opportunity for our team. I mean, it's really a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. But in my experience, when you get those in life, don't be scared. Step up, take it on, and give it everything you got.
Just watch, don't get too slow.
There you go. We're closing in on a race start. That's the race village in Barcelona, one of the big ones too. Fans from Great Britain and all around the world wishing Ineos Britannia World inside the Ineos base. They must be feeling jacked up and ready to go. Everybody is on edge. And as you can see in the top left of your screen, 8 minutes and 6 seconds and counting towards a start in race 1 of the match. How must they be feeling? Still being towed up, Ineos Britannia. But there's a feeling,
Potentially just a little bit of breeze working its way down from the top end of the course. We potentially see gusts of up to around 11 knots right at the top end of the course, but lulls down to 3.5 knots down at the bottom end. So we need to get that average wind speed of 6.5 knots over a 30-second average to get racing away, and it looks like the start has been bumped out. Ian Murray and his race management team. Basically, there's no taking a guess at it, Shirley. It's absolutely got to be down to numbers and that average wind speed.
This is the race committee. We have failed the wind limit and are pushing the start to 14:45.
Yeah, it's not a grey area. Nobody just decides if they could go racing. It is an agreed protocol between all the teams. The wind is measured at the top marks and also at the start marks, and they have to average over 6.5 knots, which actually isn't very much wind, and it is impressive to see them really fly in that wind speed. We are pretty close to getting that. We have that at the top of the course, but not at the bottom. So don't go away. We've got a kind of feeling it's not going to take too long.
Oh, there's so much anticipation. There's just a buzz in the commentary position, I can tell you that right now. It's like static electricity around the prelay. So let's go into the water with Peter Lester. Peter just failed the wind limit again, but there's still confidence. We're about 11 minutes and 21 seconds and counting. What's your sense on the water?
I think it'll happen, and hopefully it'll happen soon. There's just that disparity over the course in terms of wind pressure. Coming from the boats right now, they like it, and Winfield's showing it, that top left-hand corner, there's good breeze in there at the moment. And as we've seen often here, when the wind is building, initially the left-hand side, it seems to fill in, and then later in the day when the wind's established, we get that hook over to the right. So being able to judge that transition of what the wind is doing is so important.
So beautiful pieces of naval architecture out on the water, and also modern architecture. The AC40, a boat designed by Emirates Team New Zealand, and if all goes well today, we will create another little piece of history on the waters here in Barcelona with the inaugural Puig Women's America's Cup final. One single match race between the two form teams in the whole of the regatta, Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli and also Athena Pathway Great Britain. If we get this going today is going to be a monster of day, and you'll go to bed or go to work or whatever smiling. Now, when it comes to official escorts, Emirates Team New Zealand is hard to beat. Ngāti Whātua, the indigenous people from the syndicate's home base in Auckland, New Zealand, have travelled 19,391 kilometres to lead the Kiwis to the battlefield in a traditional wakataua, or Māori war canoe.
It's a huge honour and privilege to be here, supporting Grant and the guys to hopefully bring home the silver and bringing our haka culture to the world.
I remember actually sitting back at base in Tamaki in Auckland, New Zealand with Grant Dalton, and he kind of just shared this kōrero. Do you think we could get Ngāti Whātua over to Spain with us? And I said, yeah, why not? I'm sure we can. And then I said, oh, we're also building our waka. And he said, oh, that'll be great if we could get the waka over too. And 2 years later, we're here.
Being reunited with the waka here in Barcelona was very important for us. Ko te tikanga te tuatai protocols always come first. When the team landed, we went straight to the waka and did all of our prayers, our incantations, our songs, our haka.
One of the main things that people most likely don't see when they look at one of our waka is that it has a life essence within it. It lives and breathes. It lives alongside us. We care for it like it is a child, like it is a parent, like it is an ancestor, all of those things. The log for the waka here was part of a group of trees called kauri. They were decimated by a natural disaster some 30,000 years ago. As far as we know, at the time where it was felled kind of indicates that it was a tree about 2,000 years old, so easily 32,000 years of history sitting in the log itself.
The carvings and the symbols, they're handed down from our ancestors over generations, and so our written form, we don't have text as such, but the kōrero, the narratives and the meanings live in the symbols. See similarities in the marking of the skin with the markings of whakairo or wood carving. Each symbol has a meaning, and so when you line all of those symbols up, they tell a story if you know how to read them.
All up, the build took 17 weeks, but they were spread out over roughly 2.5 years. I think for Ngāti Whātua, o Rākei, it's far more important than I kind of realised at the time that it was being carved as well. It's always a great feeling when the waka hits the water and our young people are in there to take up the challenge.
It's been 20 plus years since we've been on a waka taua on the water, so reigniting that knowledge base. Sharing it with the next generations has been really important. We are very grateful and lucky to be exposed to this sport, to be exposed internationally.
We're already amped. All the boys down at base, they're fizzing at the moment. The waka in particular is a waka taua. Taua is I guess you could say, an army or a war party. And so on the day, we're bringing all of our cultural rituals, all of these things that are handed down to us from our ancestors to help elevate this campaign.
We want to be doing that loud and proud, being able to just invigorate the team that are on Taihoro, to show them that we've got their backs, we believe in them, and we want them to give it their all just as much as we will try and send them off well.
I think it's an honour for both Team New Zealand and for Ngāti Whātua o Rākei that they get to come alongside each other in this particular scope. I think it's an amazing privilege for everybody to participate in.
We have been just watching a beautifully crafted story about the kawo the Waka Whangati Whātua, who are the indigenous people of Auckland and an integral part of New Zealand's team culture. Anyone I spoke to today when they led out Tauhoro, of which they named, they said quite simply, and these are supporters of Team New Zealand, it makes a difference. Will it make a difference in the result? Well, that's by the by, but it's a very special day today here on the opening day of the match. And look at this, the crowds are out, the Union Jacks are everywhere. People are just aching for it to get underway. We've been informed now by race management, a 2:50 start, and they have told us though the wind is building and we've already got the boats out falling. Oh yeah, here we go. It can't be too far away, team.
40 knots of boat speed heading downwind in around about 8 to 10 knots of true wind speed. So that is a very, very promising sign. The breeze is actually building down from the left-hand side of the course, so quite light on the right-hand side. So again, needing that average wind speed of 6.5 knots across the top and the bottom to get racing away.
The defender, Emirates Team New Zealand. What do they have up their sleeve? You would have heard Shirley Robertson say before, haven't been sailing in anger since September 5, have had to go and then develop the boat. What have they developed? What secrets do they have? It's going to be fascinating because they're up against a challenger that is primed and ready to come out of the gate like a rocket.
Shirley, I mean, it brings us to the fact that, you know, they don't know, we don't know, and we're about to find out. So really, really exciting time as we head into this first race of the 37th America's Cup here in Barcelona.
Let's go on to the water, Peter Lester. Peter, how are you feeling? What are you thinking now that the boats are up?
I think we're getting close. It's the first time I've seen blue sky above me. The big yellow things come out, and that's a good sign. If it's the more the sky clears, the wind just pushes down. I think we're going to be underway very shortly.
Nervous yourself? I mean, you're in America. You know the America's Cup as well as anyone. Is the opening day for you and nervous just to see it get underway?
Oh, I just think it's brilliant. I mean, if you're an America's Cup tragic, this is like having Christmas every day of the week, mate.
Well, enjoy it, and I hope you enjoyed those grapes we put on the boat for you.
We're only got 5.5 here.
So, as you can see, the clock in the top left of your screen, 7 minutes and counting. That's on board. And inside Emirates Team New Zealand, the cyclists already have built up a hell of a sweat.
But even if you're not an America's Cup tragic, it is a great day. So much is unknown. I mean, the boat looks fantastic. It is a marvel of engineering and design, but we just don't know how fast it's going to go, how maneuverable it's going to be, how sharp the sailors are going to be on board, and what kind of match we're going to see between this outstanding Kiwi team and the British.
And you make a good point. It's been one of the talking points, Shirley, about, you know, how sharp they aren't really match race fit, whereas Ineos Britannia come in race fit and ready. So that will be an interesting thing in the opening salvos, particularly in the start box.
Yeah, the British are battle-hardened. I mean, we really enjoyed that battle they had with Luna Rossa to get to this spot. They've also got really good confidence in their maneuverability, their ability to put the boat exactly where they want to. And if you're going toe-to-toe with another boat, I mean, that gives you so much confidence. But all eyes really this afternoon is on this boat here on the Kiwis. What have they got?
Well, everybody has fans, and we've already had a look at the Ineos Britannia fans, and I know the Kiwi fans that have come from afar are ready to go. This is inside Kiwi corner. There you go. Doesn't take much to get them going when you are the defender, but it's a long way to go. How about that? Maybe we could play this them and us game. So that's Kiwi corner. And there's Ineos Britannia off the fours. Why don't we go inside the base of Ineos Britannia? Afternoon, folks. Get ready. It's going to be a cracker. Yeah, that didn't take too long. That's nice. Very good. Then you go in, of course, into the big centre, out on the beach, into the race village, ready to go, and we're counting down 4 minutes and 53 seconds to go to the start of the match. Now they're getting off their seats, so not really off the edge, just getting up off the seats and angling to see some Rock and roll racing on the waters of Barcelona. Crowds are building. Look at that. How good is that? Some figures I saw the other day, something close to 2 million people coming into Barcelona because of the America's Cup. And I heard a wonderful story today with the paddlers, the kaihoi of Takawa, the yacht coming through. They came through the crowd and it just went off. So here's hoping the racing goes off today as we build towards a start in race 1 of the match. 4 minutes and 9 seconds and counting, starting to build.
The breeze surely looking like it is actually just hanging in there above that minimum wind limit at the moment. So nerves will be starting to wind up.
Not sure if you're thinking tack approach from here or jab approach. Either or on the spruce. Oh, slow feet.
Lots of tricky calls, isn't there, particularly around the sail, the jib, which jib you use. They just be so up and down.
The whole time it's going to keep changing. Yes. I think down in attacks could pick.
Having a quick look at the wind field. I mean, plenty pressure between 9 and 11 knots. It's absolutely ideal foiling conditions. This is the ghost boat, the optimum route. And it really has the boat starting on the right-hand end of the start and hitting that left-hand boundary, really accelerating as much as they can that way.
There's no risk of them, so just stop you early.
Watch the get on the...
This is the race committee. We have met the wind limit, and this America's Cup is live.
Okay, let's do this. Let's build towards race 1 of the match in the Louis Vuitton 37th America's Cup. The defender, Emirates Team New Zealand, the official challenger of record, Ineos Britannia. It will be a port entry from New Zealand, a starboard entry from Ineos Britannia. It will be delicate in these conditions.
Potentially, I have the British team possibly late for their entry. They were quite late getting foiling over that right-hand side, so Emirates Team New Zealand looking like they'll be on time. Possibly late for the British team entering, but we'll have to wait and see in this first duel.
Emirates Team New Zealand hit the green light. They are good to go to enter the start box, and Ineos Britannia will be late. They can now enter the box, but they are way off.
Decision now on Emirates Team New Zealand, surely, of whether to go and actually try and give them a bit of courage.
Kiwis heading towards the British. The track in front of them, going to try and stop them getting into the starting box.
Down here, that's the mark there. Next move out here, Pete. Jibe.
Going away here.
Like that, we've got a nice lead, follow him.
Copy. They're going to follow around there. Down for attack from him.
Well, the British are in. They have entered the starting box. Just over a minute to go. There is lots of holes in this breeze, and we saw Great Britain fall foul of that.
Coming up all the way.
55 to the start.
3.
Looking to tack under them, I think.
Final foot.
Okay, they go early, go past. Yeah. Go past.
They're going past.
Fun.
8 for the pin.
All about the time and distance, how long there is left to the start, how long it's going to take you to get there, your position relative to the opposition.
There's good stuff far right, so if they go, I'd want to go with them.
Go slower, sorry. Go on.
Emirates Team New Zealand a little early, just having to kill a little bit of time. The British will be almost time on distance for the pin from where they are.
Well, we didn't get the fight, the tussle we were hoping for. But this is going to be close at the start.
The charge towards history is about to begin. Race 1 of the match, and the Louis Vuitton 37th America's Cup is a go.
My trap,
righty. Go heel. 30 to boundary.
A beautiful start from the Kiwis. 3.5 metres back, nothing at this speed, doing 35 knots.
Copy.
A little early speed advantage to Emirates Team New Zealand. Just off the line with about 2.5 knots more boat speed, converting that into an early gain.
Going to use all the boundary?
Yep.
Kiwi team though in this light air, when they do tack, if they exit the boundary on port tack, they will be the giveaway boat. Whilst they're inside the boundary, they have all the rights.
Engine's good. They've got low to be fast. Nice breeze coming on us.
Lovely tack from Emirates Team New Zealand.
We just want to make sure we get out of here if we need to.
Or try and get over faster.
I can go faster.
Yep. Big pressure here. It's really nice.
Taking Tono. Taking mainline.
Just kind of time trial at the top. Get this go-to done.
The two helmsmen on board New Zealand at the top, Nathan Outridge on the left-hand side.
A tech I would go with. Transitioning the lull now.
Okay, go to that next puff now. Yeah, I think you're all the way to that righty now. 236, slightly left of average. Marks it through here. Yep.
New Zealand are gaining
really
here
nice
since I've been on port. I'm just watching those meters gained, and it's Ineos that are losing valuable meters. Some of it could be that the pressure is on the left-hand side. We heard that pre-start. The initial build would be from the left, and I think there's more left-hand pressure coming, and it'll hit Emirates Team New Zealand first.
Back in now.
Yeah. Go a bit further, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
2, 1, forward down. 3, 2, 1, mate.
Go mine. I'm happy to go if they go. They've gone.
See that darker patch of breeze on the water. Ineos Britannia just getting into that and then tacking, trying to take advantage of that angle, but Emirates Team New Zealand also tacking in that same wind shift as well. So just not letting the British get too far out to one side, so trying to stay in between their opponents and that top gate.
Following him in here, not sure you take your time.
If he goes before late, you can go, you keep going.
It's okay, top right.
He's right here at the moment.
This is the race committee. We are moving the leeward gate, lengthening to 1.6 nautical miles.
Very good sign if they're lengthening the course. The wind is in and stable.
They tacked as well. I made it we can.
Yeah, more pressure coming too. Up beyond the top mark, I'm seeing greener patches on the water, so I think there's more pressure coming down the course, but both boats will be around this top mark gate before that new pressure hits them.
Numbers. Okay. Going button.
So Ineos Britannia sitting in the dirty air of Emirates Team New Zealand, so that wing wash or that sail wash coming out the back.
Button.
I've got way too faking coming down.
That's right.
That'll slow
what do you think, early job?
British team down.
Just settle. I think the pressure will be good straight.
Emirates Team New Zealand about to complete the first leg of 6
There's
in
more gas on the
race
drive.
1, the
Down
opening
3,
race of the match here in
2,
Barcelona.
1.
Strong start has given them the advantage at this point.
At the moment for me.
Copy. It's me there, no deeper, Pete.
Ineos Britannia coming through. The one thing we have seen in the whole of this regatta, downwind, Britannia is quick.
Early jibe here.
Copy. Pressure hit.
Right into it.
2, 5, working down.
Okay, all the way down, go hard.
Airway jibe. Hit it, boys.
And forward down here.
That's it. 1, made.
Turning.
Farewell. 2, 1, go on.
Kiwi fans like that, don't they? It's a long way to go, but you'll take anything if you're a fan. Any moment of advantage, enjoy it.
British team having to sail back through some dirty air there as well downwind, so sailing into slightly more pressure though.
Take a breath.
So that might compensate for a bit of turbulence.
Still got to watch the bottom corner. Feeling that wind
protect
now.
the right looking down.
Yep.
Through. That's that wind there now, Nate. 240s.
British there, 3 knots faster in their boat speed, so sailing at extra pressure. Good gains to Ineos Britannia.
Yep. You're having a little fast mode here, aren't we?
I think VMG's are good, bro. They've gone in.
They're just getting a
New
good tow
Zealand
down there.
pretty well towing right down the middle of the track here. It's still quite swirly, and with this breeze increasing, the chopper's got up, but it's not aligning with the wind. The sea state is coming more from the right-hand side, looking down the course, and Ineos, as we've seen time and time again, look pretty pacey on leg 2.
Well, since the top mark, we've seen a 100-metre gain for the British boat. They've been sailing in 2.5 knots, more wind pressure than the Kiwis. Look at that view. They are closing in.
Okay, you want to take that? Precious. Got something on here now.
This is the race committee. We are moving the windward gate, lengthening the course to 1.7 nautical miles.
So that extra true wind speed
probably want to go with
extra
extra
power
Yep.
for the boats, and that in turn means extra speed. So race committee extending the course out to hit that target time.
Might be a little wide on this can. Pardon, all good. Just compressing here, guys. Airline's in 25 here.
Have a little look up the course if you've got
So
it.
the cyclors on the top right-hand screen there, basically providing all the hydraulic oil power to move the sail plant on board the AC-75. So everything below deck powered by batteries, everything above deck powered by the cycling team.
Good phase now. Anytime, bro.
2.
Ineos Britannia surely just about to sail into the wing wash of Emirates Team New Zealand. Ineos Britannia on a J1, their biggest jib, and possibly Team New Zealand on a J2, not 100% their biggest jib, just a click smaller than their max power on the front of the boat.
It's got the left mark. Buffers in the middle. Will be one more drive.
Kiwis laying the gate.
Pardon?
One more manoeuvre for the British team.
Emirates Team New Zealand about to complete leg number 2 of 6, a third of the way through the opening race in the match, but there's just a sense this one is going to be very, very close. They get around and hit up on the second upwind leg, and it's been a good downwind leg for Ineos Britannia. Very good one.
Smart move by Emirates Team New Zealand to take that other turn. They could have laid in right, but by taking that left turn, they put Ineos Britannia immediately in their wing wash and force Ineos Britannia to do an early tack away down speed.
Great positioning from the Kiwis already in that defending position. Got the British right where they want them.
Hey, mate's been on board for now.
That's a right phase.
Right, G here.
If you're new to America's Cup viewing here in Barcelona, there is 2 helmsmen and 2 trimmers, 2 cyclers on each side. So very much sharing steering and trimming duties and decision making.
3 still right, got 40 seconds this way. Does look good on the right, I think they're probably done that. Okay, let's stand by here. Yep. 2, 1, at board. 2, 1, made. Landing. I will. 2, 1, at board.
Both boats over on the left-hand boundary. It's turned into a classical match race. Emirates Team New Zealand now applying the really typical match race tactic of being on top of the trailing boat and just trying to get a bit of a handle here on relative boat speed between the 2 boats, and this will be a long port hand over to that right-hand boundary. And I'm just looking at the gauge between the 2 boats, and it's New Zealand that are extending. Again, I think that's more pressure related than boat-on-boat boat speed at this stage.
Could get up here a little more. Really stretching here at the moment. I think
Just
I'd
looking
go
at the
with
VMG numbers, that means how much progress you're making to where you're going.
3, 2.
British slightly better VMG.
There's not much in this. There's not much in this at all.
Coming into good pressure on the nose. Good gains
VMG
receiving.
standing for velocity
Back to
made
go again.
good. So for those that
choose best
the sport, some of the most important numbers you can see on your instrumentation.
Top marks, exits.
It's a rather complicated name for something that's quite simple.
Real nice pressure. Yeah, nice
Andy Maloney
Yeah,
there
beautiful spot. Looks good all the way to
foil
the
trimming
boundary.
duty, so actually flying the AC-75 above the water surface.
Is this to
Those
protect
very,
the
very
left
small
now, or are we
foils.
happy just to hit again?
I think we hit again now. It's knocking a bit.
Yep.
Emirates Team New Zealand, look, they've got that lovely patch of wind, that green area we can see on the wind
I think we hit
field.
them on this one hard now.
Heading higher than Britannia.
Stand by.
I'll call the board. You guys do
The meters are creeping up.
One, put down.
Gone.
1 mate.
Turning.
Farewell. 2 1 down barge.
Ben Ainsley handing over to Dylan Fletcher on driving duties aboard Ineos Britannia.
Nice way for you to build on.
And the wing wash off the back again of the Kiwi boat will be working its way down towards the British team.
Nice lifted mark.
Looks like a pretty good man, top right.
These lighter conditions, very, very
It looks like there's good breeze all the way.
bending of the breeze around all those sails, so a lot of dirty air going down there.
I think it's going to hold, right? It's only 20 delay.
Yeah, looks okay, straight.
Anytime.
See the difference in VMG there, Shirley. Any options there for the British team apart from tacking away.
Little hard mode in the knot, they've gone. 2 1 go board.
On board Ineos, this is Dylan Fletcher, his port helm, gold medalist from Tokyo in the skiff class, his first America's Cup. And we have watched him grow over the last 6 weeks. What a talent he is. And here is his co-helm, driving the whole campaign and the boat, 4 times gold medalist. Ben Ainsley, driver on starboard.
Okay, stand by.
This is the race committee. We are moving the leeward gate, lengthening to 1.8 nautical miles.
It has been a strong leg upwind for Emirates Team New Zealand. They have defended Ineos well at this point. Halfway through race 1 in the match, and it's the defender leading as they head downwind for leg number 4.
It's like that phase.
I don't think there's a rush, is there?
No, I don't think there is either.
Oh, yeah.
It's a bit different this time.
Nice. Just on the
Joy of sport, nothing better than seeing a fan of any sporting team just smile. And there is so much to smile about when you're watching these high-tech AC-75s flying around the course. 7 tons of majestic nautical architecture. There goes Ineos Britannia. They're now the chaser, or are they the hunter? That's a crowd. That's a crowd.
It's a lot more even on the run than it did last time. A little more windward now.
New Zealand just doubled their lead on that second windward beat. That's an ominous sign, but it's still quite swirly with the wind. But my initial thought is that New Zealand has had an upwind edge, and the conditions have actually settled down a little bit. There was a bit of comms coming from Nathan Outridge about coming over to the right-hand side, because I think they got a little bit caught out on that first downwind, but this time it's a little bit more settled.
On board Emirates Team New Zealand, and the front position being taken on by foil trimmers, and the second position back by the helm, and the back 2 positions by the Cycor team on both sides of the yacht.
There's an enviable composure on board Emirates Team New Zealand, and I think you've sailed with them, you've done the last 2 cups with them. Having Nathan Outridge on the other side of the boat has really added to that. They seem confident. Their racecraft, their execution is spot on.
Obviously a bit more separation this time.
It really is, and Nath doing a brilliant job.
Doesn't look amazing downwind, but I'm sure it's good. It's just a bit deceiving.
Looks okay on the bow, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks good on the bow. Just like immediate jibe's no good, but I think A-line jibe's good. He's going to probably go to pretty soon. Yeah, he's gone now.
Quite lifted.
Happy to go any time with the left.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, forward down. A little lighter, boys. A lot lighter.
Burling handing the driving duties over now to Nathan, and Pete now becomes the tactician and course manager.
The bottom's here, I think.
Hello, Emma.
Have a look at
The Outridge family.
It is better if we can go
Very
left,
accomplished
but if
author as well.
It happens that we have to just go right, and there's enough wind to attack here. It's not the end of the world. Close to laying here, eh?
I don't think I'm going to get down that far.
Hugely powerful sail plan in these lighter conditions on the AC-75.
Definitely protecting right on the beat when we can, but no, they'll have to do the extra one to get there too. Pretty nice left lane here.
Yeah, lifting now.
We'll see how we hook up out of the stripe, right? Whether we want to go left again.
Yes. Nathan and the guys on that port side completely blind to their crew members on the other side of the boat, so having to rely 100% on comms to paint the picture to sail the boat accurately around the course.
Yeah, for sailors around the world, can you imagine you can only see 180 degrees? It is a different game.
Straight through and then just tack or either or.
Straight through and look for a lane, Andy.
Emirates Team New Zealand approaching the bottom gate, and that will complete leg number 4. They've controlled this race to this point. The defender of the Louis Vuitton 37th America's Cup. Remember, 1st to 7 race wins. New Zealand flag flies, and why not? There's a long, long way to go.
Switch the gas and then you
3, 2, 1, forward down. Sorry, no worries, nice win.
Yacht Britannia now approaching the bottom gate. They will complete 4 legs. It's a 6-leg race, so get around that mark and then you're upwind for the last time before you head home here in Barcelona.
See some accumulated data there.
Look at that. Look at that for a crowd on the opening day of the match.
Yeah, do you reckon we haven't taken, but do you reckon we go past some more?
Just a click advantage there, surely, on the average VMG. And speed to Emirates Team New Zealand, but you'd expect that by being able to sail their own angles. They sail through dirty air.
That'll be nice.
On board the chase boat for Emirates Team New Zealand, Ray Davies joins us right now. Controlling this opening encounter pretty well, Ray.
Yeah, so far so good. Now for sure the guys are sailing really well. Like for sure there's lots of dots to join out here, and they're doing a fantastic job of blinking those, and therefore a lot more performance. So yeah, tricky conditions, but yeah, really happy with how they're sailing, very composed.
Ray, very difficult conditions to pick sails this morning. How was the process there?
Yeah, we pulled ours up and down a couple of times. Yeah, this new breeze was potentially going to come in a little bit stronger, so we're covering the option of going to a smaller sail, and we're happy with the weather call. Roger Batten was just nailing it, and yeah, he was to within half a knot, so fantastic job there by our Cloudsy boy. So good shout out there. But you know, it's tricky out here. There's a lot of cloud around. It's clearing now. It's a lot more stable than what we'd seen earlier. So hopefully we get a couple of good races in today.
Thanks for your time, Ray. Appreciate it. Let's go across to the Ineos Britannia chase boat with Rob Wilson. Rob, quick question. Late into the start, any reason?
There was a few little issues they were having after the battery swap with one of the batteries, which just put us on the back foot very slightly.
Yeah, how pleased are you with how well the boys have recovered from that and sailing well?
Yeah, they're edging back in there. The Kiwis are making it pretty tough though. You know, it's super shifty out there and quite up and down on the pressure, and they've just put their elbows out, and it's hard to get around them, that's for sure.
Thanks for your time, Rob.
Thank you.
Bike is on the boundary in front of us.
On board Ineos, and we can see there their new M1 mainsail. Looks a bit flatter in the foot to me. The one they used through the Louis Vuitton finals had a bit more camber than that, so they've obviously learned from sailing against Luna Rossa. So that's something new I've seen on Ineos. Emirates Team New Zealand push forward. They're in slightly better breeze, heading over to the right-hand boundary.
Well, that was interesting to find out from their coach, Rob Wilson, what the issue was. The batteries obviously needed to work the foils, and the first sign of issues with reliability we have seen from this team in the whole summer.
You're on the money. We have been talking up the reliability of Ineos Britannia this whole regatta. But that's just a small issue. But gee whiz, costly in the opening race of the match, as it is turning out.
Ben Ainsley with the clear lenses today. We've seen Ben and the guys chop and choose between lenses. Cloudy conditions. The foil there,
At the moment, we're getting close to intersection
ripping
here
through the water upwind. Lee McMillan on flight control. He's doing flight control on the port side of the yacht, so controlling that foil that's in the water at the moment. So fantastic viewing position. The Ineos team actually a slightly different crew configuration. Their foil trimmers at the rear of the boat versus Emirates Team New Zealand. Bledmont, his opposite foil trimmer on the windward side. So there's cyclists in the middle.
Managed to get a nice shift. We might
position.
get one of them.
Very similar cyclor configuration powering the boat.
The rower, Matt Rossiter, cycling for all he's got, providing the power for those trimmers to do exactly what they need to do.
A lot of oil needing to be moved on board the AC-75s in these slightly lighter conditions, so coming out of the tacks, going almost from fully depowered on the sail package to fully powered up and then back to fully depowered again.
I think what's speed. You think we'll get there, mate?
Yeah, you're pretty easy on it.
So watch the back of the waves.
The final upwind leg is about to be completed by the defender, Emirates Team New Zealand. And then they'll round that mark in the top game and head home. The finish line is the next point of reference.
Steady. I think you get driving about 40.
All those fans inside Kiwi Corner wanting only one thing, and that's a win in race one.
Yep. Any sign of it dropping will go, but I think we're good for at least 20.
Top speed in the bearaway in just over 7.4 knots of true wind speed, so fantastic performance.
Breeze is a bit lighter. We heard them say it on board. I can see it's only 7 or 8 knots. Getting trickier.
Unfortunately, Ineos Britannia just having to do that final tack right in the dirty air that Emirates Team New Zealand just provided by rounding that top mark. So very difficult from here to dig their way back into this one.
At the moment might be an earliest
Emirates Britannia will round the top gate for the final time in race one, match one.
Big push for the cyclors here to get that massive twin skin mainsail back sheeted on.
Any time here? Come by. 2, 1, 1 down. 2, 1 speed. Come out.
Both these boats have managed the course, as you say, connecting the dots beautifully today. There's still one more race to come, weather permitting, and potentially after this, the Puig Women's America's Cup single match race final. But right now, the defender is heading towards the finish line.
Little header on the scrounger with a gust.
Still quite a lot of puffs and lulls on this course, so a lot of powering up of the sail package and depowering. You just see how much that traveller is moving around on the main to control the roll of the yacht. That's the most important thing.
We get a lovely view of how deep that mainsail is. I mean, really versatile setup, isn't it? Sometimes we look at it and it's absolutely flat.
Nice.
Yeah, the twin skin mainsail package is very, very efficient, being able to separate the high and low pressure side of that aerodynamic foil structure and able to go through a massive depth range, going from almost dead flat to 13 or 14% camber.
It all happy to step down, but
yeah, copy. It looks okay.
Right front.
Yeah, getting a little header here. Just coming down with it.
They make it look easy, don't they? They make it look easy, but they are just
at us a boundary now, so they'll be stepping.
Managing it so beautifully as the conditions have dropped off somewhat.
They're certainly not top end breeze at the moment, but
if you feel light at all.
36 knots of boat speed. Those little skinny foils going through the water surface area, only about 1.2 square metres of foil surface area, keeping 7,000 kilos foiling across the water surface.
Even a small truck up in the air, it's quite something.
Both teams on their M1 mainsail, so the biggest sail area, around about 145 square metres.
Good. It's always better straight, so a little bit over helps just get in easy.
If you hung your head over the side of the boat and had a look out, that's what you'd be seeing.
45 to go, 45 to line. It's quite in there.
It's Cam Webster on the cycling team, just giving his
anytime should be good.
Cyclaw group a heads up of their next manoeuvre coming up.
I don't think so.
Hamish Bonda, an Olympic gold medalist to row. His combination with Eric Murray is legendary in rowing circles. He's also been a bronze medalist as a cyclist in the Commonwealth Games. He has the biggest motor I have seen in many, many years in professional sport. But right now, on the opening day of the match in race one, the defender Emirates Team New Zealand has done what it set out to do and put a stake in the ground. Emirates Team New Zealand win race one of the match.
Well, they have reason to cheer, not just for the win, but the Kiwi outfit did not put a foot long.
And in comes Ineos Britannia. And as coach Rob Wilson said, a battery issue at the start saw them come in late to the start box and it has put them, as he said, quote, on the back foot. But what will happen in race number 2? There's more racing to come, don't you worry about that. Ineos Britannia crossed the line, but it's advantage Emirates Team New Zealand.
Backing up. Reach. Up on, guys. Keep going. Where to go?
Confirmation of the opening race in the match of the Louis Vuitton 37th America's Cup, and it's a 41-second win to the defender, Emirates Team New Zealand.
Well, the British were on the back foot, having that issue late into the box. And the Kiwi team really did a good job of timing that start to perfection. They were on time and faster as they exited the start line and really monopolised on that. They had a good lead going into leg 2, but the British came back into them. More breeze on that left-hand side of the screen. Really saw the British team close the gap on this leg.
Feeling that went down. Right up and down.
Yep. Just a hit again.
Leg 3 though, great racecraft by Nathan Outridge and Pete Burling, really controlling the British and also staying in the puffs of breeze. And we just saw the meters increase and increase in this leg. And by leg 5, it was a fair distance, wasn't it? 350 meters between them. Calm communication, calm decision-making on the Kiwi boat meant that Great Britain was not a threat. And by the finish, Kiwi fans were celebrating here and in New Zealand. The first win, Emirates Team New Zealand.
Let's head on board Emirates Team New Zealand. Peter Burling, first of all, congratulations on a first up win. Psychologically, a nice blow to throw.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the most straightforward race you would have seen, but it was awesome to get a great start there and just kind of control it. Always a little bit nervous just with sitting no wind for so long before the start that it was going to die completely out again. But awesome breeze, awesome way to kick it off, and hopefully we can get another one soon.
A question to Nathan. Well done, Pete. Nathan, the first race of any America's Cup is about learning how you rate with your opponent. What did you learn from that one?
As Pete was saying, it was quite a dynamic race, so we learned a lot about, obviously how we've got to sail the boat in these conditions. We've been training all week and we've had such variable conditions, but for us it was nice to get a clear start and get ahead on that first cross and control the race. So there'll be a lot more learning going on over the next few days, but yeah, very happy to get the win in the first race.
What does that win mean though, Nate? Seriously, this is boat against boat, team against team.
Oh, this is what we've been working for 3 years for now. We've been a long time of preparation, watching everyone else racing. So yeah, it was great to get a fantastic start and control that race. So very, very happy with that. And let's just keep our eyes focused forward and just keep working on the next one and all the races to come.
Thanks for your time. Good luck for race 2. We move across to Ineos Britannia. Ben Ainsley, we heard from your coach, Rob Wilson, battery issues at the start. Was that really what put you on the back foot?
We didn't have the perfect entry to the race, but actually the guys did a good job to sort of recover from that and keep calm, and we're in a half decent spot off the start line. It was just really dependent on where the breeze went from there, and Kiwis did a nice job. They got the bit of left-hand pressure which put them in a strong position. They got a good race from there. So yeah, look, it wasn't, we really did a whole lot wrong. They just sailed a slightly better race.
Ben, there's a bit of time now, isn't there, before the next race? How will you use that time? How valuable is it?
Yeah, I think this is a great opportunity. There's obviously been a long time since we sailed against the Kiwis, and much chat about their performance. Give us an opportunity to evaluate that. They've got to jump, why, what they're doing. Maybe they're doing slightly better than we are, and we can have a look at that and try and. It's America's Cup game. It's all about moving forwards. Yeah, we'll long way to go yet. Don't worry, we'll keep pushing.
Oh, hang in there, Benny. Just a quick question for Dylan, if you're listening there, mate. This is your first race in an America's Cup final. How nice is that to get that under the belt?
Not talking to me, though. He's talking to that.
He might have his comms off. I'll find out after the second race how that feels.
I don't think he'll be that happy with that race, Glenn, for his first race. I think he's expecting for much better, and I'm sure it'll come.
I'm sure it will, mate. Good luck for the next one.
Okay, let's move on to the key moments.
Well, it has to be the start, doesn't it? The pre-start manoeuvring all boiled down to this final approach. And at the gun, Emirates Team New Zealand were doing 35 knots, while the British were a bit further back and 3 knots slower. It's not much, but it matters. That small difference can turn into something significant, especially off the line. And Emirates Team New Zealand made the most of the slim head start, building a lead and never giving it back. A reminder of the importance of the starts for both these teams.
Having a little look at some of the data here. Well, Ineos Britannia can take comfort in claiming the peak speed, one up more than Team New Zealand, but 41 seconds behind after 3 laps. The Kiwi numbers are hinting the Kiwis may have something special, but we will see coming up in this next race.
We're just going to compare the 2 sets of cyclers. A lower average power on the Kiwis, but a more of a peak. So maybe a different kind of format or process for the way that they're both working, and we'll keep an eye on that.
Some pretty impressive numbers though, all the same. Incredible.
To showcase the talent of our best female fast boat sailors from around the world. What an opportunity for the 12 world-class teams.
In the inaugural Pooch Women's America's Cup.
Steady pressure from here.
It is teams fighting to make the cut.
We have tight racing, quick reactions. It is definitely not for the faint-hearted.
Oh, look out, look out.
when it matters, they have come out firing.
This is a huge race.
Great pressure there. Laying down a marker for this very first Women's America's Cup.
Thank you, America's Cup, for watching women's sailing.
Quality teams, well drilled, practice, great racecraft. The battle has started.
We are about to create history here in Barcelona. The very first inaugural Puig Women's America's Cup. How good does it get on a Saturday in Barcelona? 18 teams, or should I say 12 teams, down to 2. And this is what they are fighting for. Who are fighting, by the way? Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli, Athena Pathways. Italy versus Great Britain want this 5 kilogram piece of silver to raise at the end of one single match race. And this is what we had. We started with 12 teams, America's Cup teams and invited teams. The top 3 in each group had to make it through. They did. Then there was the semi-finals, which we completed late yesterday evening. And we got down to this. The very first Puig Women's America's Cup final between Athena Pathways, Great Britain, and Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli. You can imagine what it's like out there. There's Max Sirena from Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli. There's Francesco Bruni-Kekko's out there supporting them as well. And surely this is a huge moment today.
It is a big deal for lots of reasons. We're going to see some great sport. Both these teams, the most polished. I mean, really, the cream did rise to the top. They put on an incredible display of craftsmanship and teamwork over the last week.
So much effort and resource has been put into both these sailing teams, and there's just a slight numerical advantage to Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli over the whole of the regatta when it comes to race wins. It's not much, it's 5-3, but the one thing that was noticeable yesterday was how strong Athena Pathway, Great Britain, finished the regatta to this point.
Yeah, they're an experienced bunch. Hannah Mills, double Olympic gold medalist, her crew from the Olympics beside her, Saskia Clark, lots of talent, used to delivering when it really matters.
Let's create history. The first Women's America's Cup final.
Fully supported by their cup team, Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli, this women's team have the Italian performance hallmark. Polished, smooth, fast, getting more and more confident with every race. And led by the hugely experienced Giulia Conti, she has moulded her talented young team into a formidable challenger. Offside helm is the ever-impressive Margherita Porro, trimmers Giulia Fava and Maria Jubilee.
To, you know, dig deep and find all the energies and be super accurate with the boat handling and with the strategy and with the tactics, because they are all really good sailors. So we will try our best.
Athena Pathway have kept to their script and have made it through to the Women's America's Cup match race final here in Barcelona. Sharing the driving duties on the AC40 is 3-time Olympic medalist Hannah Mills and the young talent of Tash Bryant. Trimming the sails on the AC40 is Saskia Clark and Hannah Diamond.
We're facing the Italians in the final match race for the first Women's America's Cup, and we all came across the finish line today absolutely buzzing that we made the final, but also super determined to get the job done and win the first cup. And so, yeah, it's going to be tight. They are obviously fierce competitors, and we can't wait to get on the start line and just give it our best shot.
So we are closing in on more history in this regatta here in Barcelona. Those are your combatants in the Puig Women's America's Cup final. Athena Pathway, Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli, and the wild and crazy AC40s, which provide so much entertainment and are so skillfully sailed by those in the cockpits.
Let's have a quick look at the track before they kick off. Ghost Boat still joining the pressure together, starting on the right-hand side of the start line, getting the bias, but also getting a really long run into the left-hand side.
So it all looks good. Sea state's picked up a little bit too. That's probably a good sign that there's lots of wind out there. Let's confirm that we are going racing.
This is the race committee. The wind sampling is complete, and this race is live. Good luck.
There's a lot more pressure coming down just off the top of the course there. So quite changeable, this race. A real heads out the boat kind of day.
And it's one single match race. Quickly to Peter Lester on the water. Peter, conditions from where you are.
Yeah, the waves are up for sure. Now, there's a big black cloud developed over the port area of Barcelona, so look out for a right-hand shift.
Thanks, mate. Okay, it will be port entry for Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli and starboard entry for Athena Pathway.
A really different style of racing that they've been doing all week. This is boat on boat, toe to toe, elbows out. Can't wait.
The Italians just potentially really late here for the entry. The British entering probably on time, potentially could come up and engage early with Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli.
Italians are vulnerable here on port. A target.
British team just jibing away, just keeping to themselves. Shirley just doing their own time on distance.
The British team just playing it safe. Surprised they didn't engage there. I think their game plan is different. Just keep it clean.
The AC40's only weighing 2,000 kilos compared to the AC75, so they are the go-karts, and you can flick them around and do lots of high-speed manoeuvres.
British jibing back. Hannah Mills picking up the steering. Right in front of them now, Luna Rossa. 48 seconds, still quite a long time.
The Italians leading back early. All sail controls on board the AC40 being controlled by batteries, so no human power involved in this crew of 4. Power on tap for all functions.
Racing in as much charge as we can. We're racing SAS.
Quite an even start, potentially.
2 boat lengths clear the windward.
We need to tack or we get...
Oh, we no, we should. Yeah, knocking. Okay, press here. Kill.
History is about to unfold on the waters of Barcelona. You're about to experience the very first Pooch Women's America's Cup final, and we've got a green light to get going.
Okay, target's 26.
Very, very even start, Shirley.
Well, we didn't get much engagement in the pre-start, but we got a tight old start. The Italians just ahead, 9 meters back from the line, and launched.
Very even speeds off the line. Italians just being able to sail a slightly freer course, so the British team just having to hang off the back and not slide down into that affected dirty air of the Italian team.
Getting near that left-hand boundary. Big manoeuvre for the Italians.
British will attack inside the Italians and try and inch their way forward. A nice tack on board Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli.
Well, there is nothing in this. Look at that view. Look at the speeds, both teams so well matched.
Definitely some lighter patches on the course. Margherita Porro, Julia Fava.
The Italians, I think, just have a click more pace. Just see them slightly moving forward on the British team.
Conti and Maria Jubilee will be looking out the window, up to windward there. looking down at Tash Bryant and Hannah Diamond on board Athena Pathway. The Italians just sailing forward enough to put themselves in a commanding position.
10 knots. Okay, nice breeze on the bow.
So important, isn't it, when you're match racing, to keep an eye on the bigger picture, to be looking up the course for breeze.
This is the race committee. We are moving the leeward gate, lengthening the course to 1 nautical mile and shifting the axis to 225.
Both boats heading towards the first gate, the top gate, the first leg of 6 about to be completed. But there is, as we have seen through this whole regatta in the Puig Women's America's Cup, not too much in it. Luna Rossa heads around that left marker first, followed around by Athena Pathway.
British team does so well to keep this tight. Lots of options to get back into the race.
Do we want to match you forward with them here? Yeah, I think so. All right, coming up.
Slightly bumpier conditions starting to roll down the course, making it tricky to keep the boats locked in. The better you can lock the boat in on trim and heel, the faster you go.
And bad plant, turning. 10 knots. Okay, that's angle.
Athena Pathway did a nice job at that top mark when they came round. They make that right-hand turn by getting down on the leeward quarter of the leading boat, just trying to get a bit of a jump so that when this jibe came, that Athena Pathway now a bow forward, and that's quite a strong position for a trailing boat.
Just in general, Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli just sailing a click higher than their ride height, just avoiding those little touchdowns. Every time that centre of the hull touches down, it picks up a little bit of drag from the water surface, so all important to try and keep that hull just clear of the water surface if you can.
Let's go, Ellie. Come back. Put down in 2. Wind is higher now. Put down.
You can see both these teams are really well drilled, have been training here all summer. Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli had the investment of the team, the knowledge of the team, and their youth squad also, which we saw win earlier in the month. Athena Pathway also coached by Chris Draper, an America's Cup skipper. Really put a huge amount of importance, quite rightly, on this event, the very first Women's America's Cup. A little panic there on the Italians.
They're just struggling to get the roll of the yacht back under control there, but they did a good job of just keeping it airborne and not getting caught with the windward heel touchdown.
Still not too much in this final. Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli will continue to lead Athena Pathway Great Britain. 2 legs completed now, 4 to go, and both these boats are a good example of the health of sailing in both these countries.
I will. Forward up.
Athena Pathway just having to tack and clear their air there. They would have just been sailing right in the dirty air of the Italians. The Italians immediately responding and tacking to go over across. The Italians not hurting the British on this tack, but they'll be setting up to put them in the dirty air on the next tack in this match race final.
Heading to the right-hand side. In terms of the breeze on the water, it doesn't look as advanced as it did on that right-hand side. I think it's more about the trailing boat, GBR, just wanting to keep their air clear and minimising the loss and keeping the game alive. Pretty evenly matched between Italy and GBR, going on the upwind for the second time.
I'm very impressed with the team on Luna Rossa. Giulia Conte is a very experienced sailor, 3 times Olympian. I raced against her even at the Olympics. but her teammates are all in their early 20s, and she's managing today on the biggest stage of all to keep it calm and perform.
They didn't get that jib sheeted on, haven't quite got that front sail sheeted on to where they need to.
Sotto di noi, se vuoi puoi pressare un pelo, anche copriamo.
Virate simultanee.
Sì. High call, ok.
Tutte pronte.
High call for the bow stop.
Great mix of English and Italian on board Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli. The girls saying that sometimes it's just quicker and easier to talk in English than Italian.
Dai. And turning. And board up.
Margherita Poro steering on port. This is Tash Bryant steering on port. Hannah Diamond behind her on trim.
Luna Rossa doing a really nice job just locking this race down. Had some fantastic
Let's go now, yeah. 2, 1.
coaching staff helping with their match racing skills. So the youth champions from Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli winning the Youth America's Cup. So can they do the same? The British trying to wriggle their way free to take that chance off them.
Yeah, pressure looks good.
The one thing we have discovered watching all these AC40 fleets in changeable conditions, one minute mistake and that lead can just evaporate.
The trimming roll is so crucial. Steering's easy in a way, isn't it? The trimmer's obviously adjusting the sails.
Yeah, Maria Jubilee there on starboard. Really important to see the Traveller at the back of the mainsail. Back and forwards, just keeping that heel locked in. Should be working the toggles down there behind the helmsman.
The lead remains a narrow one to Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli. Half of this inaugural Pooch Women's America's Cup final is done. 3 legs are completed.
Boundary, medium check.
On these AC40s, boats actually have an auto ride height pilot, so the crew on board not having to actually fly the boat. There's actually a IMU electronic sensor and bow sensor that actually sends the signal to the foil flap to fly the boat.
Yeah, Italy just had a bit of a touchdown there, a bit of a plough touchdown, and what that's causing that is the seaway now is building quite dramatically, and because the boats are only 40 foot long, not like the 75 footers, you have to have a lot of control so that you don't stick it in, but the Italians look pretty comfortable. They doubled their lead on that second upwind. So Italy are doing a fine job, just need to keep the beast under control as they head down to Mark 4.
Right, we're gaining on them in a straight line, they're pretty loose on board. Yeah, copy. Hey, we got good from here.
Yeah, Tash Bryant painting the picture for us. They are gaining, the British team. Good few knots faster than the Italians. Italians seem a little bit loose in this wave state.
Marginal right turn. Detecting we go the left turn lane.
The IMU, or commercial measuring unit, and the ride height sensor, filtering that signal, telling the system how high the boat is above the water. The crew having to manage the actual ride height and the trim and actually feed the settings into the boat to help it fly.
The British team definitely back in the game. Hardly anything between these two boats.
Nice jibe on board, cleaner pathway. The Italians now having to execute this bottom sector really well to keep the advantage.
How many times have we seen in a lot of these AC40 races, if you get it wrong around the mark. You're in a bit of bother right now, though. Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli, get around. And that's 4 legs done, 2 to go. In comes Athena Pathway, Great Britain.
The British boat now actually sailing towards more pressure on that right-hand side. That's a danger for the Italians.
Got a bit of line out this side. What do you think? I think we go for it.
Yeah, we can see it here on the wind field. That green area indicating more pressure.
Just having a look at some of the head-to-head stats at the moment, and about 0.6 of a knot average speed better for the Italians. Average VMG of about half a knot, so they've let the British team separate by quite a margin. If the British do get a bit of a wind shift out to that right-hand side of the course and get a right-hand wind shift, they will sail a shorter distance up towards that top mark. So the British will be hoping that the wind does shift to the right slightly so they can get back into this race.
Calmer on the Italian boat. It sounded a bit wobbly on the last run. Giulia Conti just reining it in.
Margherita Porro there. Julia Fava on trim. The boat's really dancing around over and through these waves. The foils doing all the work to keep the boats airborne. Interesting decision coming up for Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli now, whether they tack and actually put Athena Pathway in their dirty air, whether they keep sailing across to the right-hand side. So the Italians, again, now make a decision whether to stay clear. So Athena Pathway tacking back. They'll be forcing the Italians to do a down-speed tack if they come back now. So managing to keep their nose clear. Little close of the gap as well. Only one mistake by the Italians, and Athena Pathway will be right with them.
A lot of pressure on both these teams, a lot of expectation. Just feel the tension.
Both the AC40s sailing on J1 jibs, so they're on the biggest front sail that they can use. Main sails are all the one size at 64 square metres. It's the most powered up configuration with light bumpy conditions.
Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli just tacked right on our bow, pretty well on lay line to that top mark gate, and there's good little squirt of pressure coming onto the Italians as they come around the top mark for the last time.
Looks like the Italians also got a bit of shift.
What the Italians do have right now is one more leg remaining. One more leg to go to head to the finish line and be a part of America's Cup history. They've led from start. Will they lead to finish? They round that final mark and head home. Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli. Athena Pathways, Great Britain, just haven't been able to find something. Was there a little touchdown there a moment ago from Luna Rossa, but Athena Pathway, Great Britain are through. On the downward home leg.
Potentially sailing into slightly more breeze is Athena Pathway, so the Italians now absolutely having to execute all their manoeuvres really well. We've seen how well the British team sail their boat in these bumpy conditions, so a lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure, not too much pressure there, just having a good time and enjoying this magnificent sailing here in Barcelona.
We've seen how tricky this downwind leg is, the increased bump. Anything can happen.
Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli, this could be the big double for them here. Remember, they won the UniCredit Youth America's Cup, and at this point they're on course to add another one, and the inaugural Puig Women's America's Cup.
It would be a massive credit to the whole team, Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli. They took both those events seriously and have invested time and energy and resources. Good to see.
One final jibe for Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli. They need to execute this well, keep the boat nice and smooth. And that's a beautiful jibe, very well controlled.
Big waves here.
Great jibe on board Athena Pathway as well.
Saturday, October the 12th, 2024, off the coast of Barcelona, more history is created in the America's Cup story. For the very first time, Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli win the Puig Women's America's Cup. In comes Athena Pathways. Great challenger, great regatta. You couldn't ask for more.
We love an Italian celebration. That's how much it means.
Forget about staring, get out of the cockpit and celebrate.
Well, I wouldn't have seen their fellow crew members for the whole race. They better get over there and give them a cuddle. Congratulations to Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli, Women's America's Cup champions. And a big congratulations to the whole team at Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli. A lot of work gone into that, so to Max and the team, and Patrizio and all the wider group, very well done and congratulations, an exciting future.
They had the same coach as the youth team at Luna Rossa, Simeon Salva. Impressive.
Nothing better than to watch the celebration as we confirm the very first result in the Puig Women's America's Cup final. And your champion is Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli. But only just, look at that, it was 8 seconds, but well deserved. Let's go on board Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli. We will start with Giulia Conti. Giulia, I think we've seen what it means, but how does it feel after all the hours of practice and the years of training to do this and get the job done?
Speechless. It's such an, it's just an immense joy, really. We've worked so hard, and I don't know, yeah, with the boys helping us all the time. Yeah, we're so happy to match their win and be champions. I guess we cannot believe it.
Giulia, I can see how much it means. I mean, you did not put a foot wrong in that race. You started ahead, stayed ahead. How proud are you of the 3 other girls, those young girls that you've galvanized together?
Unbelievable. They are amazing sailors, incredible people. I love them so much. I think this is the strength of this team. It's the cohesion of the team is just unique. Never experienced something like this in my whole sailing career, really.
Oh, Giulia, Glenn, congratulations. What would you like to say to your Italian fans in Italy?
Okay, let's go aboard Athena Pathway, Great Britain. Had a tough day out, but first of all, would you like to say something to the Italian crew? I know Giulia is listening.
Yeah, I mean, massive well done to Giulia and the Italian sailors. What an amazing race. yeah, just so proud of all the competitors in this women's event, just how everyone's handled themselves, how everyone's really delivered on a world stage. Yeah, just super proud of everyone.
Hannah, massive congratulations for getting into the final. I know it's not the result that you wanted, but you've all come such a long way. Just talk to me about that, about your team, and also, what do you really feel this is the beginning of? Where's this going to go?
Yeah, oh, you're going to make me cry, Shelley. Yeah, it's been a long, amazing campaign. We've put so much into this, and I'm just so proud of all of our team that have worked so hard to get us to this point, and obviously our friends at Ineos Britannia who have been just unbelievably amazing as well, supporting us in this journey, and obviously the America's Cup and everyone that's put it on. I think this is for sure just the beginning of particularly women's sailing in the Cup, and I'm so proud to be part of that first ever women's event. Obviously gutted to not deliver today, but just for the sport and for women's sailing and for the young girls out there watching, like that, this is happening and it's going to be your time next.
Hannah, we always thank you for your time, because you and the whole fleet have been so gracious in giving us your time after these. I know this is a tough moment for you, but you should be incredibly proud of the whole crew, because you've entertained and shown that the Pooch Women's America's Cup of sailing these AC40s has been just glorious to watch. Okay, you can understand how it feels right now, all those hours of work, and you don't get the chocolates, as they say. But you know what? We saw the two best teams out there today from the Pooch Women's America's Cup, and it was a faultless performance from this team here, Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli.
Wasn't it? This is such a special moment. Marco Gradone, who won the Unicredit Youth America's Cup, they've worked so closely. This is really a collaborative celebration, and how amazing for Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli to get the double.
Yeah, fantastic job by the whole team, and for Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli to get the double, both the Unicredit Youth America's Cup and the Pooch Women's America's Cup. Everybody absolutely deserves a swim. It'll be everyone will be needing to cool down after that. An absolutely fantastic effort, very, very well sailed. And both Athena Pathway and Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli thoroughly deserving to make it into that final match race here in Barcelona today.
Yeah, a really proud moment for the team. They need her back on board. There's champagne incoming.
Yep. We have to have the Juve Camps moment here on the waters of Barcelona.
Yeah, the back's a whole lot easier to get on than the front, but she's got her teammates there to drag her up.
That's their coach with the headset and the flag, trying to instill some order into the chaos. Proud moment for him.
So here it goes, the Juve Camps Cava moment. Cava, of course, being sparkling wine here in Spain, but whoa, let's go. Those are your champions. Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli win the Pooch Women's America's Cup. Let's see how coordinated they are. Oh, they've got to love it.
Easier to sail the boat than get the flag out, I think, at the moment. Brilliant effort. Congratulations.
That's some more entertainment for the massive fans that turned up to the race village today. And in many ways, it's quite sad to look at this, because our AC40 racing is done, and now we truly focus our attention into the big boats, the AC75. But this has been magnificent from the Unicredit Youth America's Cup, Shirley, right through to this moment right here.
Yeah, and as Hannah said, it's potentially only the beginning. Both the challenger and the defender are committed to making this a much bigger event, to really improving the profile of it and the accessibility. So excited to see what comes around next.
And the support from the whole cruise and everybody getting on board, and the Unicredit Youth America's Cup team who won that as well. So they do the double, Italy, and this is the moment when they got across the line. something you cannot take away from them, something that is just one of those moments.
It certainly is, and a big shout out also to the tech team that have helped with all the AC40s over the last few weeks of competition. A big job going on behind the scenes from all the teams chipping in and the tech team, so it's a celebration that they all should be involved with as well.
We have been so impressed, haven't we, with the racing? We have been entertained by the whole thing. It has been an absolute delight.
And when you talk about entertain, Shirley, it has been entertaining, the whole of the Pooch Women's America's Cup. To think we started with 12 teams and got down to the 2. 18 races in total, and it started a long time ago. Well, actually, it started back on the 5th of October. Seems like a long time ago with 18 races, but every team put their just everything into it.
Yeah, and it was the cup teams obviously had more experience, more time in the boat, but for the invited teams like the Australians here, it really was a steep learning curve, and they really attacked it. And the home team also from Barcelona so nearly made the cut into the final. A really great moment here in Spain.
Yeah, we absolutely saw some of the most fantastic racing, some thrills and spills over that couple of weeks, and the boat's getting absolutely pushed to the limits and coming through, and all these women's teams doing a brilliant job to get around the track in good shape and enjoy some of the most high-speed, high-octane racing we've seen here on the waters of Barcelona.
There would have been so many lessons learned, so much learned about racing them and how to get the most out of them, because yes, they may be one-make boats, but you've still got to sail them, and the quality of sailing got better and better and better and better.
Yeah, this kind of sailing was absolutely new to all these women, and they really embraced it, and they want more.
Oh, and we will be happy to bring more. So it's done, the first ever Pooch Women's America's Cup, and your champions are Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli. There is the magnificent Sagrada Familia and images of Barcelona, where we start to think now about race number 2 in the match. The Louis Vuitton 37th America's Cup. Race 1 has already been taken up by the defender Emirates Team New Zealand. What will unfold in race 2? We will bring you that shortly here on the waters of Barcelona. So let's just a reminder, remember, in the America's Cup match, it is the first to 7 wins. The green dot says Emirates Team New Zealand have the early advantage. They lead 1-0 with another race to come on day 1. So Emirates Team New Zealand, most successful team in modern history. They've won the America's Cup twice, defended it twice, but life's lessons don't always bring a smile to the face. Kevin Shoebridge is known as his 10th Cup. He's seen the team go from underdog to top dog and back again.
We're a team that's run by yachtsmen. We're not a team that's run by businessmen. We've never lost sight of the main goal in the America's Cup. There's never been, to this day, a shortage of desire and motivation to win. My name's Kevin Shoebridge, and I'm Chief Operating Officer at Emirates Team New Zealand. The America's Cup's hard to win because it's such a multifaceted challenge. It's a technical game, it's a sailor's game, and it's a team and people's game. And it often takes multiple efforts to get everything to align. When we first started in the 80s, we were the new kids on the block.
Unbeaten New Zealand in the windward position. They've come across onto the port tack. And
we didn't know what we didn't know. Like, we knew nothing. And we were on a crash course to try and be competitive. The big lessons learned from the first campaign really was just constant development is a necessity that we didn't realise at the time.
We're proud of KZ7.
We sailed that boat KZ7 on the first day in Fremantle. I don't think we changed it until the last day, where now we don't go a day without changing something.
America's Cup 95, you will certainly be rooting for the Kiwis today.
95, to me, was the first of the really strong teams that came out of New Zealand for the America's Cup.
If New Zealand hold this position, the America's Cup is coming to New Zealand.
Well, that was just such a great campaign. It was one of those campaigns that right from the get-go you knew you were onto something.
The America's Cup is now New Zealand's Cup.
After the win in 95, bringing the Cup back to New Zealand, the team just got bigger, stepped up a gear. The design process stepped to another level again. We were sort of riding the wave of 95.
It's black to the future. On the 2nd of March 2000, history of the Hauraki Gulf.
The failure of 2003, you know, there's a lot of ways you can break it down. 2003 was a pretty young team, and they were plagued with reliability problems. That was the worst thing about the campaign, was watching them out in the water, breaking rigs.
Like a matchstick, it has just snapped.
The problem with that, we then went into the 2007 campaign and we almost took that baggage with us.
Now they're coming back and they're lining up to line down the start.
So 2007, one of our key decisions was that everything had to be reliable, and that can be detrimental to your performance.
Team New Zealand coming down. Alingi's going to get there.
We sort of had to lose again in 2007 to take another step. Even the 2013 campaign in San Francisco, to a certain point, we restricted ourselves. We wanted the boat to be at its peak for our first race, and it was. We went out there and basically hammered everyone. But we were just on this slow, slippery slope.
The lead now has gone out to 150 metres, and Ken, a minute and a half ago, it was within 30 metres.
Always remember to this day, even when we were way ahead in that match, whether it was 6 or 7 races clear, I thought we're in trouble here. We should have seen it coming before we did.
Dean Barker, Ray Davies, and their crew are some of the classiest men you will ever come across. This will definitely hurt for Emirates Team New Zealand. The Stars and Stripes say it all. The comeback of 2013.
We should have pushed things harder. We came back here and basically retreated into our shell. We decided that we were going to really push the technology, take more risk. We decided not to go to Bermuda and train with all the other teams, and we just stayed back here in our own patch. We developed the design and construction of the simulator and the idea of the bike power. We latched onto it and decided that was one of the things that why wouldn't you do it, you know? Like, why wouldn't you do something that provided 30 or 35% more power? We set up a little shed inside a shed that had a padlock and a code to get into it, so not many people knew about it, and we sort of just worked away on it. It was one of the great secrets. Honestly, it was a year and a half, that secret. Once we were developed, we put it straight on our race boat. The boat was launched. It was too late for anyone to catch up.
There you see their unique setup with the side claws paddling away for all their worth.
Innovation is key, and always has been in the America's Cup. And if you go back to Team New Zealand or the New Zealand Challenge history, even back to Fremantle in the mid-80s, you know, we had the fiberglass 12-metre that had never been done before.
New Zealand, 4 wins in a row.
That innovation has always been there, but it really has taken a quantum leap once we got into the foiling generation. There's been more innovation, I would suggest, in the last 10 years than there probably was in the 100 years previous in the America's Cup. Now, in the Cup that we won a couple of years ago, to me, that was the best team event because it was such an amazing design effort. It was such an amazing technical effort to build it, to maintain it, to sail it. There was a lot of departments that were intricate in that boat winning that race.
The America's Cup remains New Zealand's Cup.
To this day, the America's Cup is about the team that can do all the small things properly, not one silver bullet, and that will be the case in Barcelona this time. I think this America's Cup will be great, and it is going to be very difficult to win, and I'm not just saying that because we're the defender. To win the America's Cup, you can't leave any stone unturned. Like, everything has to be right. You can't just have the best sailors and the second best boat. You've got to have the best sailors, the best boat, the best organisation. You've got to have a bit of luck. All those things at the same time.
It's all about being the best. And with one race to come on the opening day of the match, It's going to be intriguing to what this second race unfolds. British supporters, Kiwi supporters, supporters from around the world just enjoying what we are seeing, and that's high-octane sailing. As we head towards race 2 in the match, we have to start thinking about what happened in race 1, and there was a battery issue for Ineos at the start, so put them on the back foot, Shirley. So the approach now for race 2.
Yeah, Ben didn't give much away when we asked him, did he? But this will have been a welcome break, a time to, you know, have a look at their numbers, to speak to all their specialists here and also at Mercedes and Brackley, and just kind of reset for this next race.
Yeah, absolutely. Super important this next race for Ineos Britannia to come out firing. They didn't really get an opportunity to engage like they would have liked to in that pre-start. So they'll be coming out. We're going to see some absolute fireworks in this next race, I'm absolutely sure.
Yes, it's early in the piece. There's such a long way to go. It's the first to 7, 13 races scheduled in the Louis Vuitton 37th America's Cup match. So we are in the early stages, but any little advantage each team can take, oh, they will take it. You can bet your bottom dollar on that one. Only 4 nations, America, Australia, New Zealand and Switzerland, have won the America's Cup. Britain gave the old mug to the world 173 years ago, but it's never held it aloft. That is powerful motivation for Ineos Britannia team principal Sir Ben Ainslie.
So we represent the Royal Yacht Squadron as Ineos Britannia, and Royal Yacht Squadron is one of the oldest yacht clubs or sporting clubs anywhere in the world, and where ultimately the first America's Cup was hosted back in 1851. This is our 3rd time challenging for the America's Cup. We were first up in Bermuda in 2017.
The work starts now for the next campaign, and we will be stronger and we will be a successful team.
Then Auckland in 21.
For Ineos Team UK, 170 years of hurt continues.
We have to be quite honest with ourselves if we're going to get further in this competition, and we would love to get where we all want to be, which is getting the America's Cup back to Britain.
And now, of course, here in Barcelona 24, so yeah, 3rd time lucky.
Well, the Challenger of Record is the first team to lay a challenge down, and it's the beginning of a partnership that will then go on to create some of the rules and protocol around what the event will look like for the next America's Cup.
You obviously need to have an element of trust there with these people. You've got to make some big decisions and work closely together, but also bearing in mind that you're still competitors. So it's a delicate relationship that needs to be handled well.
This is the America. She fights her way through the fleet of British schooners and cutters and relives her great moment of that famous 1851 race around England's Isle of Wight.
The America's Cup, before the Americans won it, took it back off to New York Harbour and renamed it, as only the Americans can do. It was called the £100 Cup. It was a trophy held at the Royal Yacht Squadron in Cowes on the Isle of Wight in Britain, so it's definitely a British Cup.
And now let's take you on board Mr. T.O.M. Sopwith's Endeavour. The crew are on their toes all the time, working with a will that makes for success. She's an odds-on favourite, and all England will wish Mr. Sopwith and his amateur crew the best of luck in their spotting effort.
We've got a long, long history in America's Cup, but we never won it, and that's really what drives all of us.
Having the opportunity, being a part of a team that's striving to effectively correct the history books there is an incredible opportunity, and I just hope we can put the closing chapter on that rather awkward, very long, lasting story.
For the final time, Ineos Team UK round the top gate and head home. But they won't be heading home to a victory parade.
Yeah, looking back to the Auckland campaign, it was very tough at times. You know, some of the toughest situations I've been in my professional career.
The thing that I kind of very quickly drift to is how the team was able to deal with adversity.
Like the final few months out in Auckland was very encouraging, how the team came together and the improvements we saw between Christmas and racing.
We learned a huge amount from that period, and that has certainly helped us get in terms of approaching this campaign for AC37 and you know, through to the event itself.
The boat we put in the water in Auckland was not quite finished. We didn't have a good appreciation for what that boat really was in the water. So I think we've got to be in the water with something we understand really well, and we need to be, you know, reliable.
It's kind of taking those learnings from Auckland, shifting them over to the new class rule and getting the best out of it on the water.
Ineos Britannia this time in AC37 versus AC36, we are a lot stronger on the sort of data analysis side of things. So what we have on the water should be thoroughly sort of diagnosed and understood before we've even pulled the sails up.
I think we're a lot stronger. We're a lot more experienced than we have been in our previous 2 attempts at the Cup. I mean, they say that you learn more from your failures and your disappointments than you do from your successes, so that's certainly the case with our team.
The team's approach to AC37 has been much more of a design and engineering focus, and we've certainly been focused on the test boats, T6, and how that feeds into the design tools with the Mercedes Formula One team.
Joining up with Mercedes Formula One, it's really kind of given us that extra bit of horsepower to kind of push the design, the technical side of this boat to the next level.
In terms of being battle hardened for the competition, I think we've been through that, and everyone's come through some challenges through the other side. Really looking forward to the competition and getting stuck in.
Day one of the America's Cup match and monster crowds here in Barcelona. We've already had one race winner in Emirates Team New Zealand as we prepare for race 2 and check out the conditions.
Yeah, let's have a quick look. We've got the wind fields on here and the Ghost boat, which is the wind run through AC75 performance numbers. And we can see it's really liking the shore side, the right-hand side as you look upwind. So get right to protect the right. Currently, that is the move.
Race 2 of the match.
That earlier loss was not the start this team would have hoped for. The break in proceedings will surely have given the British team an opportunity to evaluate the Kiwi challenge and make a plan. Expect them to come out swinging. Leading the charge, it's Ben Ainsley. On port is Cup rookie skiff Olympic gold medalist Dylan Fletcher. And the rock-solid performance team is Lee McMillan and Bledden Mon. And answering all their demands for oil is this power unit, clipped in and pedalling for King and Country. It's Hunter Leask, Todd Hunter and Luke Parkinson.
Previous winners of the past 2 America's Cups, can Emirates Team New Zealand remain at the top of the global sailing mountain? After a win in race 1 today, they will be looking to secure points early on in the series. Helming the AC75 is Peter Burling and Nathan Outridge, and keeping the Kiwi flying machine airborne is Blair Tuke and Andy Maloney. And on the pedals, powering the trim, is Marius van der Poel, Hamish Bond, Dougal Allen and Simon van Veldhoven.
So the countdown is on for the start in race 2 in the match of the Louis Vuitton 37th America's Cup. Both teams have gone back and talked to their coaches and the whole unit. So right, how do we get the most out of this boat in race number 2? We know that Ineos had an issue at the pre-start. All things being equal now, they will be back to, shall we say, Shirley, full throttle and ready to charge, because we know they want to be aggressive in the start box.
Yeah, well, just like the sailors, let's take a final look at the racetrack and make a race plan. It still looks like right-hand side is advantageous. I think we can expect them battling for the right-hand end of the start line and really trying to protect that more pressure, quite substantial more pressure, the right-hand side of the track.
Yeah, there being a couple of knots more pressure on that right-hand side, around that 10 to 12 knot mark. That's around about 3 to 4 knots of boat speed going upwind with that extra 2 knots of true wind speed. So every knot of true wind speed, absolutely important for max performance.
So with 15 seconds to go, we'll just wait for that call from race management to know that we are good to go racing in the second race of the match. Tension then begins to ratchet up.
17.
This is the race committee. We have passed the wind test and this race is live.
So time to go racing. Early advantage to the defender Emirates Team New Zealand.
Feeling on exit.
And Ineos Britannia level the scoreboard at the end of day one.
It's important for Ineos Britannia to stop any momentum, to even up the score.
Fantastic shot on board, Ineos Britannia there. They'll be
probably racing here.
setting up for their entry. Emirates Team New Zealand pulling off their manoeuvre on the other side of the course. Both boats looking like they're on time.
Ineos Britannia coming in on port. They can enter from 2 minutes and 10 seconds, and then Emirates Team New Zealand at 2 minutes on starboard.
I'm going to come down here.
Tiny bit late, but thankfully not as late as last time. And in 2 minutes, in comes the defender, Emirates Team New Zealand. Now watch this little battle unfold.
Ineos Britannia cleanly across.
Happy any time there, going up.
See what the Kiwis do.
Board down.
Ineos will be rolling into their standard tacking and circling manoeuvre. I've seen that many times before in the Challenger Series. I'll be looking to come in behind and actually put pressure on Emirates Team New Zealand. They get the choice then of whether to jump or whether to push.
Both teams will have a playbook. A few different moves in this scenario.
A potential dial-up here coming up. Ineos having to avoid.
All good here. What up? We'll be tacking from this. Get my cant in here.
No, this is a proper match race start here.
Trying to get down one from here.
1 minute to go to start, so British needing to come back on time on distance. Kiwis needing to get downwind. Engage with Ineos Britannia.
17, 15. Thoughts?
Both teams probably wanting to get to protect that right. Kiwis happy to hang back.
Ineos Britannia will be coming in on that luffing ley line, that right-hand end. The British now will be trying to lock Emirates Team New Zealand out. Emirates Team New Zealand will be looking to come in, build speed and come in for a hook below.
TTK is time to kill. Both teams slightly early.
Pressure looks okay for that.
Put play into the Kiwis' hands.
1.5. Straight up to that. Yep.
And we'll see Emirates Team New Zealand immediately tack away.
It's on again. Race 2 of the match in the 37th America's Cup.
Okay, nice pressure on the bow.
The Kiwis were the closest to the line, 5 metres back, nothing. They're doing 36 knots, rolling into that tack.
Emirates Team New Zealand sailing into that more pressure over that right-hand side, but the British team holding an early advantage. Early gains to the British team off that start line.
Nice breeze. Okay, shortly.
5, 3, 2, 1.
Steady.
Soft through them right now, but it gets better. He's just gone there. If we have an option, what side would you take?
It's a little light up to the boundary right now, but there's another one filling off the shore.
Right now I've got a strong, but he's in a low mode charging.
Yeah, this is a vital cross, first cross coming up. Initial advantage to Ineos, but Emirates Team New Zealand over on that right-hand side. You can see they're taking away valuable metres. The New Zealanders are bow forward. Ineos will not get round their bow. It's decision time for the Challenger.
Drop by, stand by. Drop stand by. Just on the outside. Slowly working up. Take it up.
Too close for the Kiwis to tack to defend that right-hand side.
There's pressure on the right boundary now.
Slightly lifted now.
A bit keen to get back over there. A little wide pistol. Sorry, it's just gone left. Right. Still slight right.
What do you see up dead upwind of us, Andy? Is that better wind on Port Lake?
I think. No, I don't think so.
The British potentially sailing into that favoured pressure on that right-hand side.
What down?
So this is their next intersection. Very, very telling. Ineos Britannia just sailing through the foil spray. They're really close intersection. We are going to see
whether we can cross or not.
Another close intersection coming up.
We're crossing.
Boat's probably too close to defend.
High speed depth for a right at the top's probably pretty good for the. Just getting back into wind.
This is what we wanted to see, wasn't it? Neck and neck. Just a few metres in it.
Pulling bearing at the moment. There's a bit of breeze across it, definitely want to go past.
Kiwi's got a little bit of a lift, it looks like, on that left-hand side.
Potentially just crossing Emirates Team New Zealand, but the British will start winding it up to have a piece of them. Just a little too far away to cause any raise of heart rate for umpire Richard Slater and his team.
Breeze on it. And button. 20 seconds away. Top gate, how's it look? Something coming out the left one, maybe. It's pretty even.
Final tack for the left turn for the Kiwi team. Ineos Britannia doing one more manoeuvre for a right turn.
5 seconds on the button. Tacks, but he might have a little piece of the zone, so just got to think of that. Stand by. Yeah. Other options, you can take the right mark, but marks are even. 1, made. I will. You go left mark protection handboard. Here.
Heading to the top gate in race 2 for the first time of 8 legs, and once again, minute is the lead by Emirates Team New Zealand. What an upwind leg that was, the first of 8. They get around.
It's a slight left phase.
In comes Ineos Britannia.
Down here, yours. Good lefty here.
Yeah, the British team heading into both a shift and more pressure. Have a quick look at the ghost boats.
Definitely more pressure on that left-hand side, looking downwind. Britannia, as we said before the start, that extra knot or two of true wind speed, translating into massive performance gains in these light conditions.
Those peaks are quite hot. It's coming from quite wide.
This is the race committee. We are moving the windward gate, shortening the course to 1.4 nautical miles.
They've got a pretty good hookup out there on breeze, okay?
We're right behind Emirates Team New Zealand now. This cross, certainly Ineos went over to the right with good pressure. There's not a hell of a lot in this. Emirates Team New Zealand have been run down here.
I don't think
so this cross will be pretty well bow to bow with the starboard advantage to Ineos. Gains on the right.
Copy. Picking up away now.
Just that extra pressure down that side, surely, I think, showing to be that advantage like we talked about before, just better boat speed by the British team.
A mistake by Emirates Team New Zealand. We heard the discussion on board, you know, would they take that right hand mark, but it meant another manoeuvre. They'll be regretting it now. They have a fight on their hands. This is from the bow of Emirates Team New Zealand. Ineos Britannia clear across.
Emirates Team New Zealand just blowing through their wing wash, but only momentarily as on split tacks. Slightly smaller jib on board Emirates Team New Zealand as well, so that will hurt them downwind a little bit.
Hardly anything between these two giants.
2, 1, made. I will.
Ainsley now handing over to Dylan Fletcher.
Go straight if you could, right?
On the steering wheels.
Choose our best lane out of
Emirates Team New Zealand.
I think
into that slightly better pressure now as well, so definitely a lane of breeze down that far side of the course. Nothing in this race.
It's a weird racetrack, isn't it? It's really like there's a line down the middle.
I don't think we'll get in, will we?
No, he's not laying, so he's got in a tricky spot. So what's the move if he takes out transom here?
I think he's going in front and we drive on the lane.
He's coming up now.
A little touch down there by the British team. Washed off a few metres just across Emirates Team New Zealand, so
driving for the right mark.
Bottom gate. For the first time, bit of a yo-yo of a match going on here. Wait for this moment.
Big pressure on Team New Zealand here to execute this down speed. Two-board round up.
Bottoms and watch the gas.
They got it back. I think they're not here, boys. Keep it going. That's good. Keep going. All the way. Looking up now. Yeah.
How good is this? How good is this? Race 2 in the match.
They were big manoeuvres in 7-8 knots of wind. So impressive.
The British team with about a 5-knot boat speed advantage, actually rounding the mark and then pulling off a very light attack.
All the way is good.
Right, just inside of it where we go out of it. 10. Nice, guys.
Only 10.
Real nice pressure. Transition.
Kiwi still heading left. They seem happy there.
Nice 50, yeah. Just squeeze, that's good.
The Burling calling left shift, so handing over to Nathan Outridge.
Real soft here at the moment.
Port tack.
This will become a good one.
Much better pressure though, Shirley, which we can see. They might not be able to see from where they are at water level.
Should come and lead that
keep the trimmer.
We've heard a lot of Andy Maloney in the bottom left-hand square trimmer, but also such a good tactician.
Nice to see you guys.
Really valued
Really nice
member of the information team and the decision-making team.
So you want to protect left? Yeah, apart from at the very top.
Going to be clear curve numbers. They've just come now. It's probably
He's
like
been sailing with Peter Blair since they won the Youth America's Cup in San Francisco and Bermuda. Long-term trust between those three.
But a little better there than I thought they would.
Copy. Are we crossing or what's the play?
The Youth America's Cup.
Crossing. I'm just trying to figure it out.
Absolutely a pathway forward to the big show.
I think that's better.
Yes. Okay, button here. My board. 3, 2, 1. Board down.
Decision time now for Ineos Britannia, whether to hang there or tack away.
Button and button.
They're gone.
This is the race committee. We are moving the leeward gate, shortening to 1.35 nautical miles and shifting the axis to 232.
There's a little one building on the top right.
Yeah, dropping pressure, so shortening of the racetrack.
We'll choose a good line to get across there.
Does it look better in front to get back across there?
Yes.
Slight left face here.
Marks are way closer in real life than they do on trace. If we take this left DP. Okay. Yeah. Little build. Quite a big one in here. 3, 2, 1. Forward down.
Going to have a little sneak peek at the ghost
yes.
boat and the wind field.
Nice.
Still good pressure on that right-hand side. Ineos Britannia right in that now.
Pretty similar to last time.
Copy.
You see
just cross and do it in one.
Yeah,
Cross coming, developing. Ineos have been working up that right-hand side. A little bit more pressure on the right. The other thing was the pre-race decision made by both teams. They went with slightly smaller jibs. Great Britain went with a J2. New Zealand stepped down to a J3. And I just wonder if they're suffering a little bit on the Kiwi boat with that smaller jib. I think the wind is a little bit lighter than they thought it was going to be.
Yeah, nice gains to us here. Contact.
Dylan Fletcher painting the picture for us. They are back in the game. Lots of gains for the British team on that right-hand side of the track.
Patch here, but pressure him back in 10. 15 to lay.
The J3, very, very small jib on board Emirates Team New Zealand.
Breeze is coming left here.
It'll be the first time Emirates Team New Zealand have sailed in a race that the breezes dropped down with the J3.
Stand by.
2, 1, and board.
1 and button.
Left tack, they're in quite a big lefty over there. 40 metres right.
Let's take it. Yep.
Top gate to complete leg number 3, and this is a race of metres, not very many metres. Emirates Team New Zealand lead after 3 legs ahead of Ineos Britannia, but Ineos Britannia, they will have the bit between their teeth. They look good. They complete leg 3 of 8.
All the way around. Stand by. 2, 1, go on board.
That smaller jib on board Emirates Team New Zealand. Slightly better in the upper range breeze on this course on the upwind, but not good in the downrange compared to Ineos Britannia.
Well, having a look at the wind field and the ghost boat here, I mean, actually where the British team are heading, you can see that green. There is more pressure, and the ghost boats have nothing in it when these two boats next meet.
Oh, huge hole of pressure there for Emirates Team New Zealand. They came out only at 23 knots of boat speed versus Ineos Britannia's 37, and a massive angle change down that boundary. So big gains back towards the British team.
Ineos have just jibed, and they've jibed in a nice little lane of pressure that's just going down the right-hand side. New Zealand were pretty quiet over on the left. So Ineos are making a move on this second downwind leg.
I think the pressure's still better straight. But what's going to be hard is if it goes left
so
any further.
Big gains back there to the British. Emirates Team New Zealand now potentially sailing back into that better pressure that the British got the benefit of down that side. So in theory, it should be gains back now again to Emirates Team New Zealand.
Probably. Right turn at the moment is quite biased if it does hang in.
Okay.
Well, but we'd want to take this.
This is a little reload now. Yep. Okay. It's a boundary job, right?
At the moment, yeah.
Nice little reload here.
We're lifting here all the time, so happy to go anytime.
This is the race committee. We are moving the windward gate, shortening to 1.3 nautical miles and shifting the axis to 226.
Yeah, we're currently only seeing 7-8 knots of breeze across the course.
It's a fascinating race. Race number 2 is like watching two massive boats on a tightrope. Who can stay on that tightrope in these conditions that is fading somewhat?
I think it feels like it.
Blair Chuk and Andy Maloney on flight control. These AC-75s being manually flown, so foil trimmers having to actually physically trim the boat to keep it airborne. Huge job for them.
Right will be on average, yes.
Ineos Britannia just actually quicker here on this run.
Yeah, that bigger jib will definitely be helping Ineos Britannia on this downwind. A little more in range. These light air conditions with that slightly bigger front sail on board.
Sorry, too high there. It's fast build.
We're nearing the halfway point in race number 2. And Ineos Britannia closing quickly on the defender.
Just getting down, just trying to make sure we don't get...
They're going to go the other
This is going to be a very down-speed manoeuvre.
Slow tempo
both boats coming into this right turn.
Okay. Round up.
How about that?
Rounding up.
Right up their transom, and then quickly
quarter.
jibing away. So again, as we complete the halfway mark in this second race, nothing in it.
Emirates Team New Zealand just not being far enough in front to be able to really get the elbows out. British team doing a great job. Having a look at the ghost boat, Shirley.
Yeah, let's have a look at the optimum route. Currently has the Kiwis gaining a little bit on that left-hand side of the track. More breeze on the left. Such a volatile course, isn't it? Every time I look at it, it shows something new.
Let's go on board the chase boat for Emirates Team New Zealand and have a quick chat to Ray Davies. I said a moment ago, Ray, it feels like this is a tightrope, this one.
Oh yeah, this is a real tough race. You know, it gets pretty tricky as it starts getting a little bit softer. Both boats on similar sails, and now it's just digging out of holes and staying in more breeze. So yeah, it's a pretty interesting race for sure.
So I think we'd expect it to keep going left from here, wouldn't we?
Yeah, just not far enough. Razor in front there to really get the elbows out. Just a really tight battle.
Okay, I think we would take it.
Yeah, exactly. It's a beauty, this one. So yeah, a few holes on the course, and pretty tricky getting into in phase with some of these shifts, but there's some big opportunities out here.
Yeah, Ray, just very quickly, you know, what's the key to this racetrack today?
Oh, look, staying in breeze. You know, these lumpy old sea state and the breeze between sort of 8 and 11 knots, but slowly easing as this race is going on. So, you know, we made a real nice gain on the left. There seems to be a little bit more breeze on the left in general, and a bit of a bend up the track as well. So the guys are doing a really good job, but it's never over.
Thanks, Ray. Leave you to it.
The righty as well. I think we can extend this one a little bit, Pete.
See the British sitting in a hole, 5 knots less boat speed. The snakes and ladders.
Or just in here somewhere.
Certainly
I think somewhere here is good.
All about the pressure in this down range condition. So squared with the thrust of the breeze, huge gains in performance. Get a little bit more fuel around that aero package.
Start thinking about this top mark exit.
Well, this one hasn't disappointed. Race 2 of the America's Cup. We've had 2 lead changes. Are we going to see another one? Emirates Team New Zealand right now over on the left. There certainly is a bit more pressure as I look up through the big armada of spectator boats out here. But Emirates Team New Zealand now are in a bit more pressure than Ineos down to Leeward.
This is the race committee. We are moving the leeward gate, shortening the course to 1.2 nautical miles.
Okay, just got a bit of pressure out there. It's good all breeze all the way. I'm not sure it's worth the double kick. I think we're too far.
Surely the breeze just slowly trending downwards, if anything.
Yeah. Let's go. If it goes right here. Yeah, is it right or right?
This committee just needing to shorten that course up.
Right. Yeah, a little bit down.
Making it harder for the sailors. I mean, a real privilege for us, isn't it, to listen to the comms on board, and it's so cool and calm on Emirates Team New Zealand. You were part of that team. It's a trademark.
2, 1, put.
Certainly keeping it nice and chilled at the moment, just executing their boat handling well. And as we've seen
I think it's going to be
in the
windier
Women's
for left
America's
turn,
Cup as well, all about nice, cool, calm comms.
Held pretty right, a lot of that
providing accurate information when needed.
I don't think we'd want to go too far here, Nate, but
biggest lead so far in this second match. That lead being held by Emirates Team New Zealand on a course that is constantly changing. And they will complete leg number 5 of 8. They're taking the right-hand marker, as you see. And we'll now head down for leg number 6. Kiwi fans in Kiwi Corner and around the world will be happy about that. But boy, this is tight. Really tight.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like it's just gotten windier on this side compared to the other side.
Ineos Britannia coming through now. 5 legs completed, 3 to go.
Down, yours. Increase, lads.
If you wanted a good place to watch, the race villages around the beach in Barcelona, Barceloneta Beach, fans have been coming in all day, and the last week, Barcelona has been flooded with America's Cup fans, and we love them.
Little fast boat's nice.
Yeah, nice position in the pressure.
Quick check of the course with the ghost boat.
I was off Turkey.
Liking where the Kiwis are.
They've jumped now.
Yeah, it's predicting a 500-metre lead for the Kiwis.
Yeah, pretty good work. So
they had a pretty nice top
30
half
seconds ahead. I think
that
does the breeze still look better on the boundary?
Just being able to sail in pressure, as Coach Ray Davies was saying. Bang a few shifts as well, shorter distance, and in pressure is what you're looking for.
What do you think?
They haven't raced for over a month. I mean, how surprised are you with their level of execution in the racecraft today?
I'm personally not surprised at all. So I know how well drilled the team all is.
Yeah, I think we just do it like this, we carry on.
This is the race committee. We are moving the windward gate, shortening to 1.1 nautical miles.
Another lap.
Just thinking 1 and 8 right turn.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but I'm happy with that. I think that breeze is...
Both teams just opting for a slightly different lower foil section there to meet the rule requirement for the CG, the centre of gravity rule. So Emirates Team New Zealand running their weight in an air bomb at the front. And Ineos Britannia
quite a bit far, I think.
Running theirs at the rear as a tail.
Nice round up for once. I've still been a bit stressful.
Gave you an easy one, finally.
Okay, you looking good out there on that boundary, Andy, man?
Yeah, the boundary still looks like good pressure.
Okay, your mode.
Yeah, the Kiwis overstood a little bit into here. Make their life a little bit easier.
Certainly had to pull off some tricky manoeuvres on the last two ones, so keep this one simple.
Yeah, life seems to be getting easier in this race for Emirates Team New Zealand, but there's still 2 legs to go, and Mother Nature has decided to make it just a little bit tougher. But no hint of a flinch or wobble by Emirates Team New Zealand at the moment.
If they take the right mark.
Ineos Britannia now approaching the bottom gate for the second to last time. The next time they hit this will be at the finish. Now they're trying to work out ways. How can they keep hunting, finding something to run down Emirates Team New Zealand?
Really nice mark running there on board Ineos Britannia. Emirates Team New Zealand just been able to wiggle their way to a small advantage. Very difficult now for Ineos Britannia to keep sailing in clear air.
That was interesting, that bottom mark that Emirates Team New Zealand decided to come round and then tack immediately to immediately get in phase with Ineos. They gave away a wee bit, but that is really smart match racing, and now they're in phase to windward of Ineos. I thought that was the move of the match so far.
This is the race committee. We are moving the finish line, shortening the final leg to 1 nautical mile.
Power up here. I've got it. Nice. Happy wind with her,
On board the Ineos chase boat now and catch up with Coach Rob Wilson, as always generous with his time. Rob, what can you do?
Thank you, mate.
You know, we're just waiting for them to make a slip up here, really, just trying to keep it tight as we can. They stretched out a little bit on that last upwind. You know, just got decent pressure from the left, so you know, that hurt us a bit, but that's the benefit of having control of the race.
Rob, it was neck and neck for so long. What do you think the difference is? Where did they make the gains?
I think it's, you know, like you say, it was super tight. We were making gains downwind. They're probably got a small edge upwind, but we need to dig into that a little bit more. You know, obviously upwind they can choose exactly where they go, and that's a huge gain for them in these shifty conditions. So it's tight.
That's the America's Cup. Hey, thanks for your time, Rob.
Thank you.
We're starting to lift again here, so I'm happy to go straight. That's only about 10 this way.
Having a look at some of the onboard shots there. In these light conditions, both boats still doing around 30 knots of boat speed. This seaway, only around 7 or 8 knots of breeze, so incredible performance by both boats in these bumpy conditions.
The America's Cup is so secret squirrel, isn't it? We don't normally get a shot inside the cockpit. You know a lot more than we know what is going on under there.
There's certainly a lot of numbers to deal with on board an America's Cup yacht at the moment. Peter Burling on helming duties at the moment. But coming into this top mark, not a lot Ineos Britannia can do at the moment.
No, they're just watching Emirates Team New Zealand get to that top gate and head home to the finish. But as their coach Rob Wilson says, you know, the boat in front's controlling the race. He's just waiting for a moment that works in their favour.
Hey, my will.
Opening day of the match in the Louis Vuitton 37th America's Cup. How much do you read into this? Will be a discussion at the end of racing today.
2, 1, working down here.
Ineos Britannia, leg 7 completed, 1 to go. They too are on the downward home leg.
We had a lovely, we were right next to Emirates Team New Zealand when they came around the mark, and what I've seen there, they've got a new rudder on the boat, and it's quite full and cord right up under the hull, but when it disappears under the waterline, it's cord thickness, it's really, really small, and that's the beautiful new rudder on Emirates Team New Zealand, and I think that might have been another little tweak that they did since the last time we saw them.
Pretty similar to what we're in now.
Yeah, it's crazy to think how thin that rudder is that's driving that boat that's in the water. Obviously thicker at the top if you do end up in displacement mode. Pretty handy to have a bigger rudder. What kind of steel is that? It's so strong and so thin.
So we reference that as a toothpick? Well, that's commonly referred to as unobtainium steel. No, very, very small sections there, only between probably about 140 and 160 millimetres. So it's the same cord width that you'd see on a small dinghy controlling 7-ton, 75-foot carbon missile.
Another 5.
It has been outstanding racing from the Kiwis today. Have not put a foot wrong.
What's the line we always use? Minimise mistakes if they're going to happen, and you're going to be in a good position. In a game that has somewhat felt like a chess match, it is checkmate to Emirates Team New Zealand. And they lead the cup now, 2 races to 0.
Oh, nice way to start.
No, turning off.
It's going to be an easier day.
You don't expect any cheering from Emirates Team New Zealand. There's a long way to go.
Long, long way to go. We only have to dig into history to know that story. Ineos Britannia will be heading back to the boat shed and going, right, how do we catch up? How do we find more speed? They complete race number 2, but they're behind by 2. Happy crowd, happy fans, regardless of the result. That's what you want to see inside the Ineos Britannia camp. Just a little bit of muted golf clapping. But they know this is the America's Cup, and on any day, things can change.
Yeah, tough day for Ineos Britannia, but we have only seen it evolve in one set of conditions.
Completely. When it gets a bit rougher, let's look forward to that. And he's hoping it does get a bit choppier and rougher and more wind. There's the win. 40 seconds in race 1, 27 seconds the win to Emirates in race number 2 of the match. So in the race to 7, Emirates Team New Zealand have the advantage. 2-0. On board Emirates Team New Zealand. We heard you say, Peter, that you would have liked it a lot easier, huh? Tough day.
Yeah, it was super shifty, and just with these clouds around, finding it really hard to see what the breeze is going to do. But I feel like we did a great job as a crew, just talking through it and taking some smart options. Definitely pretty tight in that last one, but yeah, great to get another win on the board. Nice way to start.
Peter, massive congratulations. What a day. First day of the America's Cup. It's hard to know how you're going to go. How chuffed, how pleased are you with that, and how surprised?
Yeah, we've done a lot of work making sure we're ready to go. Yeah, it's just, I think, awesome effort by the whole group. Keeping pushing us along in the starts. Yeah, not sure if what we did on the right in that last one will be counted as a win or not, but yeah, really happy with the right-hand side.
All right, appreciate the time, Peter. Good luck as the cup unfolds, buddy.
Beautiful. Thanks, guys.
All right, let's go across to Ineos Britannia, have a chat to both Ben and Dylan. What do you make of the day, Ben?
Yeah, obviously not the start we were looking for, but credit to the Kiwis. They set two really good races. I think for us there were a few things there obviously we need to work on, and just couldn't quite match them around the track. But it's always going to be tough against Emirates Team New Zealand. We've said that all along, and I'm confident the team can figure it out and come back tomorrow and look to get some scores on the board.
Oh, Benny, we've seen you guys on a really massive, almost vertical speed and performance curve over the last sort of few weeks. How much is left in the tank, and with your speed and performance?
I think still, there's plenty. Every day we sail this boat, we're figuring new stuff out, we're getting better. Of course, the other teams are as well, and you know, it's interesting to see for sure Team New Zealand taking a jump since we last saw them in the round robins. It certainly looks like that. But that's the game that we're in, and for our team, we'll just keep plugging away and looking for those gains, and tomorrow will be another day.
Good luck tomorrow, mate.
Yeah, a quick question for Dylan before we leave you. First day of the America's Cup, similar conditions tomorrow. I mean, what can you do overnight? What will be the plan before we see you in battle again?
Yeah, I think it was quite close out there today, but we just got the wrong side of a few shifts. So we'll look at today and hopefully come back stronger tomorrow.
All right, Dylan, appreciate the time. Good luck tomorrow.
Start was so important. Both teams wanted that right-hand side of the track, and the Kiwis timed it to perfection. Tacked off to the right and had control of that side from the get-go. But the story was not over. We loved this leg, didn't we? Swapping sides, nothing in it. All those close crosses all the way up.
Just a really, really small game there at the top of the course to Emirates Team New Zealand after a really, really hard-fought battle upwind. Ineos Britannia heading over into more pressure and closing the gap.
Yeah, the only mistake really we saw from the Kiwis, giving the British that side. And they came right back into them, keeping the game alive halfway through this.
I think the pressure's still
Too close there for Emirates Team New Zealand to be able to jibe and defend, having to cross there and hopefully sail into some more pressure.
The Kiwis made some great gains. They did so well just joining the pressure together and did not leave a door open for Ineos Britannia, and took the second win of the day. What a day, what an opening here at the America's Cup for the defender Emirates Team New Zealand.
So they'll be going back inside their sheds and talking about how maybe they can be better. Well, that will give the opponents a bit of a scare if they can be better, because they've looked pretty strong today, but they commanded both races. But as you heard Sir Ben Ainsley say, we're in this fight. And what a day we have had with changeable conditions. We waited about 50 minutes to get going, and then it got going.
It certainly did, and we saw a really, really great couple of races. Both boats getting their first day of racing in. It's a lot of build-up, it's a lot of training and a lot of effort for both teams to finally make it here, and for Ineos Britannia and Emirates Team New Zealand. Race day #1 is under the belt.
You can't help but be impressed, can you? The quality of execution on every manoeuvre, even the really hard ones. So impressive.
We know that they, as you said to Sir Ben Ainsley, about the upward profile and improving, but now they've got to go back into that mode because they're right up against the brick wall. And at this point, right, we know their comebacks are part of America's Cup history, and it's only day one, but the bar has just been set by the defender.
Yeah, I mean, we have only seen the defender in one set of conditions, but it was impressive. As you say, Ben Ainsley, Ineos Britannia, they're good at working out solutions and quickly. There's going to be a long debrief tonight, that's for sure.
Yeah, really looking forward to racing coming up over the next few days. It's an absolute epic battle for both these two teams, and to take an early advantage is always a nice thing to do after race day one.
Yes, well, you have that advantage, and as Shirley said, you get just a little bit of momentum because you've got to go to bed tonight, think about what happened, and wake up tomorrow, and there's another 2 races to unfold in the Louis Vuitton 37th America's Cup. I don't know what to say about this one. This is tight. Regardless of that scoreline, I still maintain there is nothing in this match.
Yeah, they were both fast, weren't they? And they both delivered. Really, the tiniest of things separated them. Can't wait for more.
Cannot wait for more. I hope you join us for that one as well, because the opening day, it's advantage Emirates Team New Zealand, the defender. A reminder of where we sit on the road to 7 to lift the old mug. Defender advantage 2-0 after day one. So tomorrow, get ready for more. We'll be with you at 2 p.m. local time to build up to race #3, followed by race #4. Ineos Britannia have Port entry on race 3, and New Zealand pulled entry in race number 4. Cannot wait on what has been a magnificent day and also a history-making day here off the coast of Barcelona as well, because we were so captivated by what has been the Puig Women's America's Cup, and we got a winner. It was a battle between Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli and Athena Pathway Great Britain, and they have both been the form boats all the way through this inaugural Women's Cup. But in the end, it came down to those women there, led by Giulia Conti. They are your inaugural winners of the Puig Women's America's Cup. And then a day which was opened for the Kiwis being led out by their home folk. And we've got it all again tomorrow. Join us, 2 p.m. local, races 3 and 4, and the 37th America's Cup.